Chapter 3872. In the blink of an eye, 10 days had passed. Lin Xian felt that his power of death had increased rapidly and had reached the level of a nomological fragment. However, he could not condense it into a real nomological fragment. This was already very heaven-defying, to be able to increase his power of death to such a level in 10 days. In addition to Lin Xian's abnormal talent, the resources and death aura of this place were also of great help. However, Lin Xian felt that it was not enough. A nomological fragment was only one step away from becoming a real nomological fragment, but it could be trapped for hundreds of years. If he did not have a special fortuitous encounter, it would be difficult for Lin Xian to condense a nomological fragment within 3 months. What should he do? He stopped and began to think about whether he should dive deeper. Suddenly, all the hair on his body stood on end. Who was it? He suddenly turned his head. Golden light blades and terrifying flames shot out from his eyes, sweeping toward the rear. The cold wind behind him was instantly torn apart. However, there was no one. Lin Xian didn't let his guard down. His heart had almost jumped out of his chest at that moment. A strong sense of danger had come from behind him. In this place, other than him, there were other living beings. Were they some dead living beings? He did not know. The bronze emissary did not tell him these things. Suddenly, he exclaimed again and moved his body horizontally. A gust of cold wind swept past the place where he was originally standing. The void there was shattered. Damn it, there was indeed someone. Who was it? Lin Xian activated his divine ability to the extreme and looked in all directions. However, in the next moment, his body froze. A pitch-black hand, covered with black fur, covered his mouth. All the hair on Lin Xian's body stood on end. The power in his body erupted, wanting to blast the other party away. However, in the next moment, another pitch-black hand grabbed his neck. A terrifying and vast aura of death instantly surged into his body. Lin Xian felt his body turn cold as if he had fallen into a 10,000-year-old ice cave. He could not use any power at all. Damn it, who was it? Who was this person? It was too terrifying. Lin Xian didn't even have the strength to turn his head. He didn't even know who had ambushed him. At this moment, a low voice sounded in his ear. If he wanted to cultivate Death Power Upanishad, how could he not experience death? Upon hearing this, Lin Xian's pupils shrank. Could it be that this person wanted to kill him? Moreover, how did she know he wanted to cultivate the Death Upanishad? What was going on? He could no longer think, because he felt as if his soul was about to fall into a bottomless abyss. That feeling of pitch-black loneliness and helplessness instantly surged into his heart. This was the first time he had experienced such a feeling. All along, he had been fighting and winning every battle. No matter how strong his enemies were, he would always be able to counterattack. But this time, the feeling of death was really too strange. Is this the feeling of death? Lin Xian's heart pounded wildly. Although he possessed the power of death and had killed countless experts, this was his first time experiencing the taste of death. So that's what it was like. Lin Xian felt that he had a deep understanding of death in an instant. At the same time, he recalled the other party's words. Without experiencing death, how could he condense the law of death? Fight it out. Lin Xian gritted his teeth. He decided to fight it out. His eyes slowly closed, and so did his soul, which was swallowed by the darkness. After an unknown period of time, Lin Xian's eyelashes trembled. He opened his eyes. He was incomparably weak. A chilly wind blew, causing one's hair to stand on end. Where was this? Was this the netherworld? Lin Xian felt that his soul was like a weak flame that could be extinguished at any time. Why am I here? What happened? His mind went blank for a moment, but soon he remembered. Could it be that he had already died once? He didn't know. The feeling of death from before was still fresh in his memory. After comprehending his own law, he realized that his law fragments had become more condensed. He was only a step away from the true law. It was indeed useful. The strange experience had given him a deeper understanding of death. But it wasn't enough. Did he have to experience it again? Lin Xian frowned. He couldn't let this kind of life and death be in the hands of others. He had to control it in his own hands. Locking spring and autumn, Lin Xian activated his ocular technique and pulled his soul into the Tao, locking spring and autumn. He created an illusion and let him experience life and death through 10,000 reincarnations. Moreover, he injected all the feelings he had experienced before into the illusory world. This way, he could experience that feeling 10,000 times. Time slowly flowed by. The people outside were in a frenzy, constantly fighting over the Tao flowers. In this cold darkness, Lin Xian experienced reincarnation again and again in the illusory world. Boom! Boom! On the 3,200th time, the black fragments on Lin Xian's body fluttered. They formed one strange rune after another. This was the law of death. At this moment, it was finally condensed. The law of death. It carried a sinister aura that was too terrifying. It could strip away everything. However, Lin Xian didn't stop. He continued to reincarnate in the spring and autumn. Crack! Crack! On the 7,200th time, his law of death once again erupted with unparalleled brilliance. An even more sinister aura descended. The law of death had broken through. Finally, after 10,000 reincarnations, Lin Xian's soul returned to his body. He opened his eyes. His originally golden pupils instantly turned black, incomparably pitch black with a soul-stirring aura. The surrounding black storm also swept through the 9 days as he awakened. Had it formed? Lin Xian comprehended the law of death. What a strange aura! Moreover, the law of death was very strong. Indeed, the 10,000 reincarnations made him experience 10,000 life and death situations. During the 10,000 times of comprehension, Lin Xian seemed to have experienced 10,000 years. How could he not be strong? He didn't know how much time he had left to get out. The fact that he was still here meant that the 3 months hadn't been up yet. He continued to sit cross-legged and consolidate the law of death. A day later, countless rays of light appeared on his body and directly teleported him away. When Lin Xian came back to his senses again, he found that he was already outside. It wasn't the Bronze Gate, but a mountain range on planet Tianming. Was he out? That was close. He was only 1 day away. Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. Then, the corners of his mouth curled up into a smile. This experience had greatly increased his strength, especially the law of death. It was incomparably strange. Very few people could resist it. He wondered what had happened outside in the past 3 months. He wondered how many Tao flowers those people had condensed. Did they enter the Bronze Gate and exchange for any strange Dharma treasures? It seemed that he had to find some people to investigate. Lin Xian rose into the air and quickly flew into the distance. However, just as he flew, a palm directly grabbed at him from below. It was a huge black hand that made one's hair stand on end. In an instant, he recalled the black palm in the 9 Serenities ground, the hand that made him experience death. Chapter 38:73. No, it wasn't that palm. Lin Xian came back to his senses and shook his head. That palm made him feel despair, but it didn't have the power of death on it. It only had a ferocious power. It seemed to be the palm of a monster. The black palm slapped out, and the sky collapsed, and the earth cracked. Countless cracks spread, and the light dimmed. Lin Xian was caught instantly, but in the next moment, endless light flew out from his fingertips. It was a black light, as black as ink. It was extremely strange. As soon as it appeared, the huge palm trembled and then quickly withered. The essence blood on it disappeared, and it turned into skin and bones. Then, even the skin was gone and only bones were left. and this terrifying change spread from the palm to the arm. Roar! Below, a crazy roar sounded, and a black mountain suddenly became bigger. It turned out that it wasn't a mountain, but a black demonic ape that had been in a deep sleep. After waking up, it stood tall like a demon god. However, the arm that turned into bones was extremely shocking. The demonic ape stared at Lin Xian and spat out a black light blade from its mouth. It was like a black river that slashed across. The void was torn apart in an instant. Lin Xian snorted and waved his hand, and the stellar transposition pushed the river to the side. The surrounding dozens of mountains collapsed instantly. Lin Xian stretched out his left hand, and the law of death filled it. He gently slapped down, and the huge body trembled. It withered rapidly. Roar! 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 The demonic ape let out an unwilling roar, and its eyes were filled with fear. His body began to tremble violently. At the same time, countless monsters in the surrounding mountains were crawling on the ground. They were also stunned. The demonic ape was an overlord of the surrounding area. It was a fifth firmament demon sage with great strength and a strong physique. No one was a match for it, but now it was easily subdued by a young man. Moreover, they could clearly feel that the demonic ape's physique and essence blood were rapidly draining. In the end, the flesh and blood of the huge corpse dried up and turned into white bones. A mountain of white bones stood tall on the ground. The pitch-black storm swept out in all directions. The plants withered as if winter had arrived, and everything was dyed with a layer of indescribable blackness. The surrounding demonic beasts fainted from fright. Some of them even knelt down and kowtowed. Lin Xian revealed a look of surprise. How terrifying! Was this the law of death? It could really turn mountains and rivers into hell. With a wave of his hand, he withdrew the law of death that was lingering in the air. Then the 5 elemental precepts flew out, and the wood precepts circled around. The desolate land was once again flourishing with vegetation and flowers blooming, returning to its original state. However, the mountain of white bones was still standing there. The law of wood could bring about powerful vitality and recovery, but it could not bring the dead back to life. Lin Xian soared into the air and left the area. As he flew, some demonic beasts attacked him. For example, there was a giant python that was 10,000 meters long. It was lying on the ground like a river. It suddenly attacked Lin Xian. Lin Xian directly used the law of death to form a corpse of white bones. There was also a demonic bird that came down from the 9th heaven. Like a sharp sword, it was smashed into pieces by Lin Xian with a slap. After that, no one dared to provoke him anymore. Buzz! Little White jumped out of the black earth and rubbed its dazed eyes. Then it pulled Lin Xian's hair and pointed down. Little guy, are you hungry? Well, I'll find some spirit fruits for you. He activated his eye technique and looked around. He found that there were indeed many spirit fruits below. Some of the spirit fruits were good in the eyes of many people, but Lin Xian was not interested. The little white monkey was even less interested. Among them, there was one that made Little White wild with joy. It was a peach tree, and it was not an ordinary peach. It seemed to be 10,000 years old. He did not expect to encounter such a thing. Lin Xian's figure flashed and descended. Little White could not wait and directly disappeared into the air. The peach tree below covered the sky and the sun. Its branches were like horned dragons, and it was very old. Little White picked a few in an instant, held them in his arms, and ate happily. Lin Xian plucked one as well. After consuming it, the strength that he had consumed during the journey instantly recovered. Suddenly, he was stunned and turned his head to look into the distance. Someone was coming. Above the 9th heaven, 3 figures were shuttling quickly. One was holding an array formation, and the other was holding an ancient mirror. It seemed that they were searching for treasures. Suddenly, a woman exclaimed, "Big brother, there's something good below." The woman had an ancient mirror in her hand that flickered with a strange light. Another man was holding an array formation, and runes were jumping on it. "Come, let's go." The three of them landed and came nearby. They exclaimed. It was actually a spiritwood peach, and it seemed to be 10,000 years old. "Great, we're rich this time." Their speed became even faster, and they arrived in the forest below in an instant. When they arrived, they saw that someone was already picking the spiritwood peaches. It was a little monkey. It was so intelligent. The woman exclaimed and wanted to reach out to grab the little monkey. However, she caught nothing. She was surprised and wanted to make a move, but the two men beside her looked around inadvertently. In the next moment, they were so scared that their hair stood on end. "Don't do it." "What's wrong, big brother?" The girl turned her head in confusion. She was so scared that her face turned pale, and the ancient mirror in her hand fell to the ground. "The great demon king!" She screamed. They were not disciples of the sacred city. They came from some of the top clans. Therefore, they had already done their homework on some particularly powerful geniuses. For example, the great demon king's face was deeply imprinted in their minds. That was because such a person was definitely not to be trifled with. However, they did not expect to meet him here. The two men hurriedly said, "Lin Gongzi, our third sister, is ignorant and has offended you. Lin Gongzi, please forgive her." The girl came back to her senses and said with a pale face, "I'm sorry, Lin Gongzi. I didn't mean to say that." They could call him the Great Demon King in private. However, if they called him that in front of him and angered him, they would die instantly. Lin Xian stared at the three of them, his eyes flickering, but he did not say anything. The three of them were nervous. At this moment, Whitey returned with a bowl full of spiritwood peaches on its head. At this moment, Lin Xian spoke. "You know me." The three of them nodded. "That's easy. Tell me, what happened during this time?" "You don't know?" The girl was stunned, then she realized. "That's right. You entered the bronze door, broke the record, and disappeared. How did you know?" A cold light appeared in Lin Xian's eyes, and the law of death spread out from his body. Chapter 3874. A black storm blew, and the three of them felt as if they had fallen into a 10,000-year-old ice cave. They were so scared that they were about to cry. Lin Gongzi, calm down. It wasn't that we wanted to investigate, but everyone knew about it. The two men hurriedly told Lin Xian the truth. They were afraid that Lin Xian would be angry. Lin Xian's expression became extremely strange when he heard that. Everyone knew that he had broken the record. Damn it, who did this? Could it be the bronze messenger? Why did it turn out like this? He wanted to hide his strength and give those people a surprise. But now, it seemed that these people would be wary of him. Moreover, some of the top geniuses would be looking for him all over the world. That was indeed the case. It was said that in the past few months, some experts had been searching frantically, but they couldn't find him. That was why they gradually gave up. What else? Lin Xian asked. The girl said that after you entered, you broke a record and caused an uproar. Not long after, another person broke the record. He was the first person to condense the heavenly Tao golden lotus. It was also celebrated by the 9 heavens. Someone condensed the heavenly Tao golden lotus. Lin Xian was too shocked. Who was it? One had to know that it was equivalent to 3,000 Tao flowers, twice as many as him. 9-headed Qilin, golden crow prince, or other terrifying geniuses. The man said that it was none of them. We don't know who he is. We only know that he is called Black Mountain's Old Demon. Black Mountain's Old Demon. Lin Xian's expression turned strange. Could it be that guy from Black Mountain? Thinking about it, it made sense. Only he could condense the heavenly Tao golden lotus so quickly. This old demon indeed knew some secrets. Lin Xian said, "Tell me everything you know and I will let you go." "We don't know much either. We only know some shocking things. For example, the two things that I mentioned before. Right, there was one more thing. That was the appearance of the Roland's golden palace. It attracted many forces to gather. It was said that there were a few treasures from the Roland's golden palace. One was obtained by the Golden Crow Prince, and the other two were obtained by Nine-Headed Qilin. The Roland's golden palace. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. It seemed that everyone had gone there. If he went there, he might even be able to meet Qing Cheng and Ruzalong. Where was the golden palace? If you kept flying towards the east, you would soon see a golden palace. The palace floated between heaven and earth. The man pointed into the distance and said. Following this, he bitterly laughed. The three of us aren't strong enough, so we don't dare to get close at all. We can only look for other opportunities outside. However, young master should be able to enter the Roland's golden palace. Lin Xian nodded. He then took out 3 spiritual peaches from Xiao, Bai, and gave them to the 3. This is the reward for the 3 of you. With that, he tore through the void and left with Little White. The 3 siblings held the spirit peaches in their hands as their minds went blank. The great demon king didn't kill them. Instead, he gave each of them a spirit peach. What was going on? The young girl's face was also a little red. The great demon king was not as violent as the rumors said. Why do I feel that he is very kind? I don't know either. The 2 men smiled bitterly. One of them said that perhaps he wasn't the great demon king in the first place. He was just related to the heavenly demons and was given the title of Great Demon King. Moreover, the people he killed were mostly the experts of the sacred city who went against him. Other than that, no one had heard of him killing the innocent. Forget it, sister. There's no need to think about it. People like him are worlds apart from us. The 3 of them kept the spiritual peaches and left the place. East Golden Palace. A golden palace floated above the 9 heavens. It emitted millions of rays of light and attracted countless gazes. At this moment, there was a huge battle near the Golden Palace. However, there were more people who were observing and waiting for the right time. The mountains and valleys near the Golden Palace were all occupied by people. Among them, there were a few figures who were abnormally terrifying. One of them had a towering divine flame and was extraordinarily mighty. He was the 7th prince of the Golden Crow tribe. He led the experts of the Golden Crow tribe to occupy a mountain. On the other side, there was an extremely handsome man who had many powerful demonic beasts by his side. He was the 9-headed Qilin. There was another person who was covered in lightning and looked like the god of thunder. He was Lei Zhen. At this moment, Lei Zhen's face was extremely cold and emotionless. Previously, the Golden Palace had spat out 3 treasures. One of them was taken by the 7th prince, and the other 2 were taken by the 9-headed Qilin. As for him, he did not even get a single treasure. How could he be happy? On top of that, the incident with Lin Wudi made him feel even more depressed. Next, no matter what treasures appeared, he must get them. Other than these 3 extremely dazzling top heavens favorites, there were many other sages around, all of whom were extremely powerful. However, compared to the 3 of them, they were overshadowed. However, no one left, because they all knew that the Golden Palace was a huge treasure trove. The treasures that fell out were already so shocking. If they could kill their way in, their opportunities would be unimaginable. Therefore, no one would leave. Instead, they were all envious and guarded the place. In one of the valleys, Zishui, Tianchen, Shibufan, and the others were there. Other than them, the people of Wushuang City were there. However, these people were all injured. Damn Lei Xinqing and the myriad demon city. These people are too despicable, and the Golden Crow clan, they are specifically targeting us. These people were gritting their teeth. To be honest, they were also the geniuses of the sacred city. Although they were not the best, they were still a terrifying force. Especially Gui Li, the people of Zishui City were extremely terrifying when they joined forces. However, they were being targeted by someone. The sacred city had joined forces to suppress them, and there were a few battles. They were all injured, and some were even killed. These people did not dare to find trouble with eldest senior brother. Instead, they found trouble with us. That's right. When eldest senior brother comes back, he will kill them all. Before senior brother Lin comes back, we can't fight them head-on. Anyway, the Golden Palace is not open yet. Moreover, even if it is open, we may not be able to enter. Some opportunities look great, but we need to be strong. We can go to other places to find other opportunities, Zishui Tianqin said in a deep voice. He had a very clear view of the situation. The others nodded. Indeed, although there were many people here, only a few of them would be able to get the treasures in the end. Most of them could only become cannon fodder. You know your place. Since that's the case, you ants can get lost. A cold voice came from afar. Then another voice sounded out. I feel that ants like them are useless in this world. We should just send them to hell. Damn it. Zishui Tianqin, Gui Li, and the others turned around and saw Lei Xincheng, the experts of the Myriad Demon City and the Golden Crow clan. If any one of them came alone, they would not be afraid. However, they could not defeat the three forces together. Chapter 3875. If you have the guts, let's fight one-on-one. So what if you have the advantage in numbers? Sherbufan walked out and roared crazily. You want to fight one-on-one? I'll satisfy you today. A person from the Golden Crow clan walked out with terrifying flames all over his body. A great demon also walked out from the Thousand Demon City. She was a female demon with some beautiful fruits growing on her body. She had a terrifying aura. When this person came out, Ghost Li and the others' faces changed. They had seen this person before. When they were fighting for the treasure, they had seen her attack. The fiery red fruits on her body looked bright as if they were spiritual fruits, but their power was terrifying. At that time, they saw a few red fruits flying out and exploding. It was enough to smash 5 saints into pieces. The other party still had dozens of fruits on her body. If she threw them over together, they wouldn't be able to withstand it. That expert from the Golden Crow clan was also powerful. He once split 3 experts of the same level with one slash. The last person to walk out was Lei Shircheng. He was even more powerful than Lei Qian. It was obvious that some of the top experts had come. Damn it, they were too despicable. Zishui Tiancheng, Ghost Li, and the others gritted their teeth. Although they were disciples of the Holy City, they had not cultivated for many years. Their foundation and strength could not be compared to these veteran geniuses. However, the 3 of them still attacked. They used their strongest skills and attacked with all their strength. The people on the other side were also angry and attacked crazily. The result was obvious. Ghost Li, Zishui Tiancheng, and Sherbufan were all injured. What a waste! You can't even block 3 of my moves. The people from Thunder God City sneered. The people from the Golden Crow clan looked disdainful. Such trash also had the qualifications to have ideas about the Golden Palace. Damn it! Didn't you enter the Holy City a few hundred years earlier? If you give us a few hundred years, who knows who will win and who will lose? Sherbufan and the others roared. They were really unwilling. Ants were ants. There was no excuse for them. The banshee with red fruits all over her body said coldly, "Humph, are you really that strong? If you have the ability, go find our senior brother Lin. Let's see who will be defeated." The people from Wushuang City roared. Hearing the name Lin Wudi, the 3 people on the other side frowned. Lin Wudi is powerful, and we can't beat him. But so what? Someone would deal with Lin Wudi. To tell you the truth, your senior brother Lin has been targeted by many people. As long as he dares to appear, we can guarantee that those people will make him die without a burial ground. Hearing this, the faces of the people from Peerless City changed. It seemed like Wushuang City was already in such a dangerous situation. All right, there's no need to waste time with you. I'll send you to hell. The elite of the Golden Crow tribe walked out. The other two also stepped forward. Don't worry, you won't be lonely in hell. Your senior brother Lin will soon go to hell to find you. A golden crow circled in the sky, bringing with it a powerful flame as it charged down. Sherbufan and the others were in despair. They simply could not block such an attack. Could it be that they were all going to die here today? Haha, give it to me, I'll die. The terrifying golden crow descended, bringing with it heaven overflowing flames that burned everything. Sherbufan and the others wanted to clench their teeth and fight back. However, in the next moment, the situation changed. A treasure bottle appeared in the sky, and the golden crow and the flames in the sky were all taken back. The terrifying scene disappeared in an instant. Shui Tiancheng and the others opened their eyes. What was going on? They were not dead. Could it be that senior brother Lin had returned? Thinking of this possibility, they were ecstatic. The faces of the three people on the opposite side changed drastically. Was it Lin Wudi? They kept retreating. The elite of the Golden Crow tribe roared. Who is it? Come out. You dare to interfere with our Golden Crow tribe's business? Do you want to die? The Golden Crow tribe was too arrogant. A cold voice sounded. Then there was a flash of light between heaven and earth. Then there was a scream. That arrogant Golden Crow clan elite was cleaved into two halves. Ah! He roared crazily, wanting to fight back. However, the seven-colored light brushed down and instantly turned him into a bloody mist. Even his soul did not escape. He was dead. Everyone was stunned. Such a terrifying expert from the Golden Crow clan was actually killed in a single move. Who was it? Was it Lin Wudi? Most likely, only he possessed such astonishing power. No, it was not Lin Wudi. It was a woman's voice. They looked around one after another. The people of the Golden Crow tribe roared, "Damn it, come out!" In the sky, a figure descended. A woman dressed in white descended from the sky. She wore a veil, but it couldn't hide her beautiful face. She was so beautiful. At this moment, everyone was stunned. Who was this person? They all looked puzzled, because they did not know her. Even the people from Peerless City were stunned. Who are you? Feeling the terrifying aura from the other party, the elites of the Golden Crow tribe asked coldly. Meanwhile, the people on Lei Xinqing's side screamed. Could it be that goddess? Soon, they all came back to their senses. Previously, when they were in the moon realm, there was a seven-colored spirit boat that descended, causing an uproar. Some top elites went and asked for an audience. In the end, they were all blocked outside the door. At that time, even Lei Xinqing did not see them. And now, the other party shot out a seven-colored light. Maybe it was that person. Thinking of this identity, the people of the Golden Crow tribe gasped. Their nerves became incomparably solemn. We have not offended you, right? Why did you kill our people? The woman in white said coldly, I have protected the people of Peerless City. Do you have a problem with that? You, the people of the Golden Crow tribe opened their mouths, but could not say a word. They could only stand there with dark faces. However, their gazes turned to the side. The three of us have joined forces. Are the two of you just going to watch from the sidelines? The two of them looked at each other and then gritted their teeth. The demoness with fiery red fruits on her body said coldly from Thousand Demon City, Humph, you are meddling in other people's business. Let's see what's so special about a goddess like you. As a woman, the other party's beautiful face and noble temperament made her very unhappy. The fiery red fruits on her body jumped, and she wanted to attack. When Zishui, Tiancheng, Guili, and the others saw this scene, they quickly said, Goddess, be careful. Those fiery fruits are very terrifying. The woman in white turned her head and glanced at them. Her expression was indifferent, as if she did not care at all. The demoness was furious. What kind of gaze was that? Was she ignoring her? She was so angry that her body trembled. Go to hell. Those fiery red fruits on her body bloomed with a monstrous light and were about to fly out. At this moment, a shout came from afar. Let's see who dares to attack. Chapter 38:76. Everyone was stunned again. Even the woman in white was stunned. She raised her head and looked at the sky. A woman in a brocade robe flew over from afar. She stood in the void and looked very domineering. Do you want to die? The woman shouted. Who do you think you are? Go to hell. Countless red fruits flew out. The demonic woman was really mad. What day is it today? Why are there so many women who are prettier than me provoking me again and again? She must kill one of them. More than 10 fiery red fruits flew out and blasted the sky apart. Not good. It's over. Ghost Lee and the others were in despair. Even 5 or 6 sages would die under such an attack. Can the woman who rushed over block it? Humph! You dare to clamor with me? The demonic woman sneered. The people of Demon City were also disdainful, but soon they were stunned. The fiery red light and terrifying energy that filled the sky were collected by a sleeve. Then the energy disappeared. The woman in the brocade robe stood in the void and was not injured at all. How stingy! How can an ant like you be arrogant in front of me? She extended a jade green finger and pointed downward. With a bang, the demonic woman's head was opened and her soul was destroyed. Her eyes were wide open and she fell to the ground dead. Until her death, she did not believe that this woman could kill her with a finger. So powerful! At this moment, everyone was stunned. The people of Demon City were dumbfounded. The people of Golden Crow Clan and Thunder God City were stunned. Zishui Tiancheng and the others were also stunned. What kind of woman is this? Isn't she too terrifying? The woman in white also revealed a look of surprise and looked curiously at the figure in the sky. Who are you? How dare you attack our demon city? The woman in the sky snorted. I'm Li Hongxiu. If you're not convinced, let your 9 Qilins come. Li Hongxiu. The people of Demon City felt their scalps go numb. The people of Thunder God City and Golden Crow Clan also took a breath of cold air. Damn it, this woman is the legendary Li Hongxiu? She is the daughter of a sage king. Her identity is so noble and her strength is absolutely terrifying. Perhaps no one can suppress her except the chief disciple. The appearance of 2 peerless beauties shocked everyone. Initially, there were countless experts gathered in the surroundings. Hence, the commotion at this moment naturally attracted the attention of countless others. They all rushed over. Heavens, the white-clothed woman was too beautiful. Although her appearance couldn't be seen clearly, it was definitely enough to topple cities and topple the world. Lower your voice. She annihilated the Golden Crow race's powerhouse with a single slash. Do you want to die? Someone said. The others felt their scalps go numb after hearing this. The other woman was also very beautiful. Was she tired of living? That was the daughter of the Saint King, Li Hongxiu. When these words came out, no one dared to say anything else. Originally, they had thought that the 2 peerless beauties could get close to each other and perhaps have a romantic affair. Now, it seemed that he was courting death. Not only the onlookers, but the experts from the Golden Crow tribe, the 1,000 Demon City, and the Thunder God City also moved out crazily. Attacking their people at this time, was he courting death? A large group of experts had arrived, but the 7th prince, 9-headed Qilin Lei Zhan, and the others were nowhere to be seen. He was probably cultivating and preparing to snatch the treasures at any time. These 3 people didn't come, but there were many other experts who came. Some of the core disciples who were ranked very high had arrived one after another. They stared at Wushuang City with unfriendly expressions. Wushuang City would undoubtedly die today. No matter who came, they wouldn't be able to change this fact. The newly arrived Golden Crow race man was very domineering. He stared at the white-clothed woman. Go to hell. He was going to destroy her ruthlessly. However, the result of the battle was shocking. The Golden Crow race powerhouse's body was shattered, and he fled in fear. Everyone was terrified. This woman was really too mysterious. Who was this person? Some people said that there was a seven-colored light on her body. It was very likely that she was the seven-colored goddess who had descended back then. When these words came out, everyone sucked in a cold breath. So it was her. No wonder. It was rumored that the mysterious woman back then didn't even meet Lei Zhen, but she met Lin Wuti alone. It seemed that she had a special relationship with Lin Wuti. Now that the other party had attacked to protect Wushuang City, it was understandable. The people of Wushuang City suddenly realized that there was such a thing. It seemed that these were all eldest senior brother's friends. Li Hongxiu also said, Lin Xian is my friend. His junior brother is my junior brother. Let's see who dares to touch him. Demon City was not convinced. A young genius had appeared. This was a golden rock. He was very powerful, and his bloodline was even more terrifying. However, he was still defeated by Li Hongxiu. This Li Hongxiu was too strong. Yes, he was probably not weaker than Lei Zhen and the others. And that white-clothed woman. She also had the strength of a chief disciple. Would Lei Zhen and the others make a move? They probably wouldn't. These three people had reached the most critical juncture. These things definitely wouldn't attract them to make a move. Unless Lin Wuti came. Would Lin Wuti come? Everyone didn't know. But a powerhouse had come from Thunder God City. He was called Lei Yuan, an existence even more terrifying than Wang Xiao. He came on Lei Zhen's orders. If there was anyone among these people who hated Lin Wuti and Wushuang City, it would be Lei Zhen. Therefore, the powerhouse he sent was very terrifying. Where was Lin Wuti? He asked him to come over and take care of him. After the Thunder Source had arrived, it had clamored under the heavens, shocking everyone. Lin Wuti didn't come. But if you clamor, I can guarantee that you'll go to hell now. Li Hongxiu stood out. On the other side, the white-clothed woman didn't say anything, but there was a hint of killing intent in her eyes. In the sky, countless moonlight appeared, turning into a few figures. One of them stepped on a crescent moon, like a fairy in the moonlight. Everyone looked up to her. Heavens! She must be the princess of the New Moon clan. So beautiful. What day is it today? The beauties of the second astral realm were all here. They were definitely here for the Roland's Golden Palace, but they were here on the way. But why was the princess of the New Moon clan here? Wasn't the New Moon clan hostile to Lin Wuti before? Everyone was confused. Li Hongxiu and the white-clothed woman also looked up. Li Hongxiu frowned and asked, Gao Yu, are you here to make a move too? Gao Yu shook her head. Although Lin Wuti and my clan have some conflicts, he has no conflicts with us. Moreover, he saved me before, and I am indebted to him. Today, I am here to repay him. It was related to Lin Wuti again. The surrounding people were stunned. The people of the three sacred cities were also shocked. They thought that Wushuang City was weak and Lin Wuti wasn't here, so it was a good opportunity for them to make a move. But who would have thought that Lin Wuti had made so many friends? Lin Wuti didn't come, but so many powerhouses came. Each powerhouse gave them a headache. Chapter 3877. After that, Gao Yu attacked Lei Yuan. Lei Yuan fought back crazily, but how could he be Gao Yu's opponent? He was quickly killed. I'm here to repay my kindness. Does Thunder God City still want to make a move? Why don't you give me some face? Gao Yu's voice was very pleasant, but the people of Thunder God City had ugly expressions. They discussed for a moment, then said, All right, let's let them live a little longer. Next time, I think Fairy Gao Yu won't stop us anymore, right? Naturally, there was only one chance to repay a favor. Gao Yu said. When the people of Thunder God City heard this, they waved their hands and left. They quickly left with their people. They actually left a sacred city. Everyone was in an uproar. What about you? Do you want to scram or die? Li Hongxiu nailed it. People of Demon City, Let's go. The people of Demon City gritted their teeth. Li Hongxiu's identity and strength were not weaker than Gao Yu's. She was even stronger. They naturally couldn't make a move. That's fine too. I'll let these people live for a while longer. When Lin Wuti came, they would deal with them together. The people of Golden Crow clan also left. The spectating experts and geniuses were all stupefied. They were too powerful. 3 women had scared off 3 great holy cities. If this spread out, the world would definitely be in an uproar. But thinking about it, these 3 women were really too terrifying. Each of them was not inferior to the chief disciple. When Li Hongxiu saw that the enemy had left, she snorted coldly. She turned her head and stared at the woman in white, then asked, "People of Kunlun Pavilion?" The woman in white nodded. "My name is Murong Qingqing, your brother Xian's friend, right? Thank you for making a move this time. Murong Qingqing, it's really you." Li Hongxiu suddenly realized and asked, "I'm indeed Lin Xian's friend. What about you? Are you also a friend?" Murong Qingqing smiled sweetly. "I'm brother, Xian's woman." When these words came out, the people of Peerless City were stunned. Then they were surprised. As expected of eldest senior brother, he was indeed blessed. Of course, there were some people who were puzzled. For example, Wang Xiaofeng and the others. What about Xinjing? They knew that Xinjingqiu was also Lin Xian's woman. At this time, Murong Qingqing turned to look at them. "Oh right, where's brother Xian? Where is Qiu? Where are they?" Hearing this, Wang Xiaofeng was relieved. It seemed that Shen Jingqiu also knew about the existence of Murong Qingqing. Forget it. It was better not to worry about their eldest senior brother. Li Hongxiu also asked, "Yeah, where's Lin Xian? Why hasn't he appeared after causing such a big mess?" "We don't know either. Senior apprentice brother Lin hasn't appeared yet. He's probably still inside the Bronze Gate." Then they turned to look at Murong Qingqing and said, "As for junior sister Shin, we didn't meet her either. She didn't come with us, and we don't even know if she's reached the celestial fate planet." Murong Qingqing frowned when he heard that. She wasn't too worried about Lin Xian, but she was a little worried about Xinjingqiu. She didn't know what had happened to Qiu was blessed by the heavens. She should be fine, Murong Qingqing thought. At this time, Li Hongxiu also said, "That kid hasn't come yet. It seems like you guys are in danger. Let me give you a piece of advice. This place is too dangerous. You guys should look for opportunities elsewhere." "Thank you, fairies. We think so too." Zishui Tianqing cupped his fists. The other martial artists from Wushuang City were also very grateful. After they expressed their gratitude, they quickly left. The news spread quickly. The entire area around the Roland's Golden Palace was in an uproar. There were already many top experts here. Now, with the addition of 3 stunning beauties, the surrounding area was in an uproar. These 3 beauties weren't just beautiful. Their strength was also top-notch. They were all top disciples. This situation was even more confusing. No one knew who would be the final winner. It was hard to say. Lei Zhen and the rest were strong, but the newcomers Li Hongxiu and the rest were equally strong. In the next few days, everyone was shocked again. Other than these few people, more experts arrived. Every one of them was very famous. However, this had nothing to do with Wushuang City anymore. Zishui Tianqing and the rest quickly left the Roland's Golden Palace to look for opportunities elsewhere. Halfway there, they stopped. They met 2 people, the North Demon and Ruzalong. The North Demon, Ruzalong, was also surprised. "Why are you guys back? Have the treasures been divided?" Zishui Tianqing sighed. "Senior brother Lin isn't here. We don't have the strength to occupy the Roland's Golden Palace. Moreover, we were previously besieged by 3 holy cities. Fortunately, eldest senior brother's 3 friends arrived and helped us out. Otherwise, we would have been wiped out." "What? There's such a thing?" The crimson dragon jumped up. The north demon frowned. These holy cities are too much. Although they weren't from Wushuang City, they were close to Lin Xian. Moreover, they had fought side by side with Jishui Tiancheng and the rest. They were familiar with each other. The crimson dragon asked, "Who are his friends?" "The holy king's daughter, Li Hongxiu, the new moon race's princess, Gao Yu, and a mysterious goddess, Murong Qingqing." "It's them." The north demon was shocked. The crimson dragon was also shocked. "I know. Are you guys going to leave just like that? I'll bring you guys back. If we can't do it openly, we'll play dirty. Damn it. Aren't they despicable and shameless? I want to see how they're going to work together." The crimson dragon gritted his teeth. The north demon's eyes were also filled with killing intent. "Yes, we have to fight back." "All right." Gui Li, Shibu Fan, and the rest gritted their teeth. They already had the idea of fighting back. However, they didn't have a leader. Now that the North Demon and the Crimson Dragon were here, both of them were extremely powerful, especially the Crimson Dragon, who was proficient in formations. If he could lead them, they might even be able to take revenge. Then, these people quietly went back to kill. The Crimson Dragon set up a formation. First, he tricked the people from Thunder God City. Then he killed the people from Thousand Demon City. He even tricked the people from Golden Crow Race. It caused a commotion in the city. In an instant, the people around Roland's Golden Palace were in a state of panic. Everyone knew that a formation expert had recently made his move, especially against Thunder God City, Thousand Demon City, and Golden Crow Race. Needless to say, it was definitely related to Wushuang City. Thunder God City and the rest gritted their teeth in anger. They searched frantically, but they couldn't find anything. This made them so depressed that they were about to vomit blood. "Damn it, don't let me catch you guys. Otherwise, I'll cut you into pieces." The experts from Golden Crow Race roared frantically. The beasts from Thousand Demon City also looked unfriendly. In the dark, the Crimson Dragon and the rest sneered. In Water Sky City, Shibu Fan and the rest were incomparably excited. Finally, they got their revenge. This time, the three holy cities had lost a lot of geniuses, and they could finally vent their anger. However, the Crimson Dragon was still unwilling to give up. According to his words, this was only the beginning. This king would slowly play them to death. Chapter 3878. Ever since Lin Xian received the news of the Roland's Golden Palace, he had been flying towards the east. However, he was a little far away. He flew at full speed for a few days, but still did not see the Roland's Golden Palace. He was not worried. As long as he was in the right direction, he would see it. After another 5 days, he finally saw a golden light in the distance. It was circling the heavens and earth. The dazzling light was shining like the sun. Come to think of it, that should be the Roland's Golden Palace. Lin Xian's lips curled into a smile when he saw the phenomenon. Just as he was about to increase his speed, a cold shout came from below. "Get down here." At the same time, 2 rays of blade light slashed down. The 2 attacks were extremely terrifying. They cut through the void and slashed towards Lin Xian. Lin Xian's strength was so great that he dodged the attack with a flash of his body. Now, there was someone who dared to attack him. Wasn't he courting death? He frowned and looked down. He wanted to see who was so reckless. Below him, there were more than 10 figures. Their auras were extremely powerful. He even saw people from the Thousand Fiend City and the New Moon Clan among them. It's these people again. How dare they provoke me? Are they courting death? Lin Xian's face darkened. With his strength, other than the 2 chief disciples of the holy cities, no one else was worthy of his attention. Since these people were here to die, he would fulfill their wishes. His body swayed and he flew down. The people below were stunned. This person was not simple. The 2 people leading the group frowned. However, they soon sneered. This was even better. They needed some powerful geniuses. Thousand Monster City, New Moon Clan, do you want to die? Where is Nine-Headed Qilin and the first prince? Tell him to get down here and die. After Lin Xian came down, his cold voice was heard. Among the people below, a few of them jerked their heads up. Their eyes were filled with disbelief. It was him. They were dumbfounded. The two leaders frowned. Who was this kid? How dare he be so arrogant? After coming down, he shouted in front of them. Brat, who do you think you are to be so arrogant? Come down at once and kneel before us and await our judgment. The two of them looked very arrogant. Lin Xian was also stunned. That shouldn't be the case. These people didn't recognize him. One had to know that he did not disguise himself. This was his original appearance, and everyone in the world knew that. Why did these two people still dare to treat him like this? Are you two blind? Don't you know who I am? Lin Xian sneered. How dare you speak to me like that? The other two were furious. You're courting death. Kid, do you know who we are? There was no need to talk nonsense with him. This brat was too arrogant. Just take him down. One of them harumphed coldly and stretched out his hand. The power was extremely terrifying, and even Lin Xian was shocked by it. Something was not right. These two people did not seem to be ordinary people. He also stretched out a palm and slapped forward. With a boom, the two retracted their palms. Lin Xian swung his arm. His strength was quite strong. Compared to ordinary geniuses of the Holy City, he was much stronger. Who were these two people? A piercing light appeared in his eyes. The person opposite him was even more shocked. His arm was numb from the shock. How was that possible? Could this person be the chief disciple? Who are you, kid? Before Lin Xian could speak, a genius of the New Moon Clan next to him spoke. Don't you know? He was Lin Wudi. Yes. Didn't the two of you want to find some top genius saints? This Lin Wudi is more suitable than us. Oh, he's Lin Wudi. The two people were stunned. Then their eyes bloomed with incomparable light. You're Lin Wudi? You're the first to condense 1,000 Tao flowers. That's right, it's me. Lin Xian nodded. Who are you? The two people did not answer, but sneered. Kid, who do you think you are? You think you can break the record? Let's show you our strength. The two people snorted, and light bloomed from their bodies. Countless Tao flowers circled them. They bloomed with multicolored light, illuminating the world. Lin Xian sucked in a breath of cold air. One of them had 1,800 Tao flowers, while the other had the Tao flowers. The other one had 1,700 flowers. What was going on? How did these two have so many flowers of the Tao? It was incredible. How is it, kid? Are you shocked? Let me tell you, we condensed these Tao flowers a few months ago, far shorter than you. That's right, we just didn't enter the bronze door. Otherwise, you wouldn't have the right to be so arrogant. The two of them looked at Lin Xian with disdain, not taking him seriously at all. Lin Xuanzi frowned. Something was not right. These two people were not ordinary people. Sacred City disciples couldn't be so strong. When he encountered the lightning formation, Lei Zhen only had 500 Tao flowers. No matter how strong the others were, they couldn't be much stronger. However, these two people were clearly beyond his imagination. They'd been able to condense nearly 2,000 Tao flowers in such a short time. This was very unlikely, unless they'd killed many top powerhouses in succession. But why hadn't he heard of such a person? Among the crowd, those from the New Moon Clan and Myriad Monster City sneered. Lin Wudi was dead for sure this time. Although they were also in a precarious situation, it seemed they had a scapegoat now. They wanted to see with their own eyes how Lin Wudi would be killed. The reason for that was because they knew how frightening the strength of those two individuals was. Who are you people? Lin Xian asked in a low voice. Listen up, kid. We're from the Grand Desolation Mansion. We're going to recruit some geniuses as our subordinates. You should be honored that we've taken a liking to you. Come with us obediently. It'll be the greatest honor of your life to work for our young master. Grand Desolation Mansion. Lin Xian frowned and snorted. I was wondering who they were. So they're from the Grand Desolation Mansion. I've already killed one of Huang Shursan's clones. How dare a mere chief disciple act so arrogantly in front of us? Were these two people out of their minds? The two of them looked at him with disdain. Kid, it seems like you're really ignorant. Our young master isn't a chief disciple. He's even stronger than a chief disciple. Our boss has already condensed the heavenly Tao Golden Lotus. This is far beyond your imagination. If he wants to kill you, he can do it with a glance. So obediently submit. This is your only chance to live. How could there be such a powerful person in the Grand Desolation Mansion? Lin Xian was stunned. He couldn't believe it. Even a chief disciple couldn't be so powerful. Besides, if they weren't a chief disciple, who were they? Chapter 3879. Kid, I'll let you know before you die. Listen carefully. Our young master is a prodigy on the pilgrim roll. He's not someone you can compare to. The pilgrim roll. Lin Xian's pupils constricted. To think that there was such an existence. It should be a roll. Those who could make it onto the roll were the most outstanding powerhouses. Their strength should surpass that of the chief disciple. But why hadn't he heard of them before? Seeing Lin Xian's silence, the two men thought that Lin Xian was scared out of his wits. Kid, now you know that there's always someone better than you. Do you think you're strong just because you defeated a few sacred city cultivators? Let me tell you, you're far from it. Now obediently submit to us. Seeing Lin Xian's silence, the people from the New Moon clan and Myriad Demon City sneered. Haha, the arrogant Lin Wuti is finally going to bow his head. They were happy to see that. But as soon as they laughed, someone snorted. What are you laughing at? You're slaves too. Go ahead and explore the cave. If you're slow, I'll break your legs. Immediately, the faces of the people from the New Moon clan and Myriad Demon City turned ugly. Damn it, they really deserved to die. They were also powerhouses. Which one of them wasn't high and mighty? Now they were being treated as slaves? Damn it, why do I want to see Lin Wuti unleash his power? That's right, although we're rivals with Lin Wuti, I want to see him show off his skills too. Impossible. These two men are definitely stronger than Lin Wuti. Damn it, aren't those on the pilgrim roll active in the depths of planet Tianming? They shouldn't be in the same region as us. Why did they come out? These people gritted their teeth. Hearing these words, Lin Xian came to a realization. It turned out that there was a group of top-notch experts who had entered with them. Usually, they wouldn't be in the same region as them. But for some reason, they had come out to capture some people as slaves. It seemed that they had encountered some trouble and needed some people to probe. It should be an ancient formation or a restriction. These people were really ruthless. They actually captured the experts of the Holy City and used them as guinea pigs. However, the other party actually came looking for him. It could only be said that they did not know the difference between life and death. Was the pilgrimage list that powerful? Hurry up and kneel down, kowtow to me, and apologize. If I'm in a good mood, I might leave the two of you with an intact corpse. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. Lin Xian's words made everyone's eyelids twitch. The people of Demon City and New Moon Clan cried out in surprise. The arrogant, great Demon King had returned. They knew that with Lin Wuti's character, even if he knew he couldn't win, he wouldn't be so silent. As expected, the other party was about to make a move. The two experts from the great desolate mansion were startled, and their faces darkened. Kid, do you know what you're talking about? You're courting death right now. I'll give you one last chance. Kneel down and float, or I'll cripple you. We will make you wish you were dead. People who can't be used by our young master are enemies. There is no need to keep them. You have two paths to choose. The two of them looked extremely cold, and no one dared to resist them. Those who dared to resist either knelt down or died. My choice is for you to die. Lin Xian snorted coldly, and an unparalleled light burst out from his eyes. He attacked crazily. Two huge palms, covering the sky and covering the earth, struck forward, and a terrifying light tore through the void. In an instant, it shrouded the two of them. You're courting death. The two of them roared, and the other party dared to attack. They dodged the attack, and their faces darkened. Who's going to fight? The two of them looked at each other, and the skinny man stepped forward. I'll fight. Why? You want to fight one-on-one with me? The two of you are not enough. Let's fight together. On the other side, Lin Xian waved his hand. The two of them looked cold. One of us is enough to deal with you. The skinny man charged forward. 8 desolate fist. Boom! The fist carried a desolate aura, and it swept across the sea and the wasteland. Lin Xian was completely enveloped, and the place where he was turned into ruins. The destructive aura was so powerful that it made the eyelids of the people in the holy city twitch. The skinny man retracted his palm, and a cold smile appeared on his face. You're not going to kill him, are you? I'm going to capture him and torture him until he's better off dead. The other person frowned. The skinny man said, We still have a mission, and we don't want to delay any longer. The two of them were calm, as if they could kill the arrogant demon king with just a raise of their hands. The people in the holy city were completely dumbfounded. Was this the strength of the pilgrim roll? These two people were not even on the pilgrim roll, but the subordinates of the pilgrim roll were already so powerful. They felt a sense of despair. The two of you are nothing much. What's there to be arrogant about? At this moment, a voice rang out from the void that filled the sky. Then a figure tore through the void and strode through the air. It was Lin Xian. His body was unharmed, and he was shining brightly. Although this strength is strong, it's still not enough to hurt me. I really don't know where you get your confidence from. At the end of the day, the two of you are just subordinates. If you let your master fight, you might be able to fight. But the two of you are not enough to fight. You're still alive. The two of them were stunned. They turned their heads, and their eyes were filled with unparalleled, killing intent. How dare you underestimate us? Die! The skinny man rushed over again, and he turned into a torrent. He felt humiliated that he could not kill his opponent in one move. This was a black mark in his life. Ants should be killed in one move. He used the 8 desolation fist again, and this time its power was even more terrifying than before. The sky in front of him kept shattering, unable to withstand the power. The saints and sky prides of the demon city and the New Moon clan were trembling. He was too strong. Even if all of them attacked together, they would not be able to withstand this punch. As I said, the two of you don't have the right to be arrogant in front of me. Come at me together. Lin Xian shouted coldly and attacked. How dare he not dodge? The skinny man snorted coldly. This time, the other party would definitely die. However, in an instant he realized that something was wrong. The other party's fist seemed to have become even more terrifying. It was like a golden crow flying between heaven and earth, and it collided with his 8 desolation fist. That terrifying power caused his arm to go numb. At the same time, what made him even more terrified was that after this punch, the other party's fist kept falling like meteorites. In an instant, his arm was bent. Damn it! In terms of strength and physique, he was suppressed by the other party. Impossible! He roared crazily, and the 1,700 Dao flowers on his body bloomed with light. His fist came down from the sky. He was like a fierce tiger that wanted to destroy everything in the world. Chapter 3880. Lin Xian raised his palm, and a ball of black aura pulsated above it. They turned into black runes one after another, and with a terrifying aura they slammed forward. Lin Xian retracted his hand after 3 consecutive slaps. He stood with his hands clasped behind his back. The people below were stunned. Was the battle over? In the sky, the powerhouse from the great, desolate mansion roared madly. He wanted to attack, but as he ran, his body quickly withered. There was a lot of white hair on his head. In an instant, his body withered as if he had aged 1,000 years. What was going on? Damn it, how could this be? The man roared in the sky with endless fear in his eyes. Do you think you can fight against me? Lin Xian looked down at him. To put it bluntly, you're just a slave. What right do you have to be arrogant in front of me? You're too weak compared to the chief disciple. You've only cultivated for a few hundred years, so there's nothing to be proud of. Lin Xian's words were ruthless. The people from the great, desolate mansion couldn't stand it. Damn kid, what did you do to me? This was especially true for the man who had aged over 1,000 years. His face was filled with fear. He rushed over as if he had gone mad. Die for me. Everything was over. Lin Xian slapped out a pitch-black palm. The law of death erupted and swept forward. A black storm blew across the whole world. Wherever it passed, not even a blade of grass was left. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The law of death disappeared, and a pile of white bones fell from the sky. There were 1,700 Dao flowers on Lin Xian's body. Damn it! How could this be? The people from the New Moon clan in the Myriad Demon City widened their eyes in disbelief. To be honest, they also hoped that Lin Wudy could win, so that they could be free. However, they couldn't imagine that Lin Wudy would win so easily. He was a super powerhouse from the great, desolate mansion. Their generation couldn't resist him. However, he couldn't even withstand a single blow from Lin Xian. Moreover, he died in a strange way. He had actually turned into a pile of bones. Damn it, what exactly is Lin Wudy using? Why did that person become so old? Why do I feel like he's capable of taking away lives? These people felt their heads go numb. The other expert from the Great Desolation Mansion roared furiously. Damn it, how dare you kill our people? Do you know what kind of people we are? If you kill us, our young master will definitely not let you off. Our boss is a top expert on the pilgrim rankings. If your boss were to say this personally, it might be useful. But you don't have the qualifications to threaten me. As for the pilgrim rankings, although I don't know much about it, I can tell you that one day I will also be able to step onto it. Therefore, your boss has nothing to be arrogant about. On the other hand, you guys act high and mighty, but in fact you guys can't even withstand a single blow. Any of the chief disciples would be able to defeat you, let alone me. Lin Xian shook his head slightly. It was true that these two were strong, but their talent, bloodline, and martial intent couldn't be compared to the chief disciples. Although these people were showing off, once they left Heaven's Fate planet, the chief disciples would surpass them. That was the advantage of being a super genius. Even if they started late and weren't as strong as the other experts, once given the chance, they would soar into the sky. That kind of improvement was something that others couldn't achieve in their lifetime. Therefore, Lin Xian had many enemies such as Lei Zhen, the seventh crown prince, and the nine-headed Qilin. However, Lin Xian had yet to treat these two people as his opponents. They didn't have the qualifications. You brat, you're arrogant. Just you wait. I want to see if you'll still be so arrogant when our young master personally arrives. The man soared into the sky, intending to leave. Was he trying to escape? The saints below were dumbfounded. They had been forced to become slaves, but they hadn't expected such a powerful person to try to escape. Had Lin Wudy become so terrifying? You can't escape. Stay here. Lin Xian turned into a streak of light and charged over. He tore through the void, invincible. The man pulled out a long sword and slashed in all directions. A desolate aura filled the air. The man knew that Lin Xian was powerful and seemed to be able to take his life, so he didn't dare to fight too hard. Instead, he relied on his terrifying ultimate skills to fight against it. The Great Desolation Mansion had a secret ability called the Great Desolation Scripture. It was incomparably terrifying, and it was being used by this man. This aura was very strange and inexplicable. However, its power was unfathomable, and it made people's hair stand on end. Lin Xian was still fearless, especially when the laws of death were endless. He used the laws of death to form many death crows, which rushed over and completely enveloped the man. No, the man's life was quickly draining away. His hair turned gray, and he aged more than 1,000 years. He was terrified. Damn it! He cut off an arm and self-destructed. The rumbling sound tore those black crows into pieces. Then he fled into the distance. Lin Wuti, I will not rest until you are dead. He fled, frantically. Wanna leave? Leave me one. Lin Xian activated the law of death once more, and the gray crows that blotted out the sky rushed over once more. And this time he activated the unparalleled secret technique, which stimulated 5 times the power, causing his laws of death to skyrocket in an instant. This power was too terrifying. It was overwhelming. Everywhere the black torrent passed, it was as if a black hell had descended. In the end, the powerhouse was also killed. Was he dead? The people below were completely stunned. They were dumbfounded. This was simply a miracle. Would their chief disciple be able to withstand it? They didn't know. Damn it, this Lin Wuti was too terrifying. Yes, who could stop his footsteps? Damn it, he didn't seem to know this kind of laws of death before. How did he cultivate? He entered the bronze door. What did he get? Was it this kind of laws? At this moment, these people were completely scared out of their wits. The previous Lin Xian was already incomparably powerful, making people despair. Now, there was an additional law that was close to death. Who could resist it? Lin Xian ignored these remarks. At this moment, his body was undergoing a strange change. After killing the other party, he had an additional 1,800 Dao flowers. The two added together, it was already 3,500. 3,000 Dao flowers could condense into a heavenly Dao golden lotus. At this moment, those great Daos were rapidly interweaving and were undergoing astonishing changes. Between heaven and earth, laws danced and aura pervaded. Finally, it formed a golden lotus, bobbing up and down beside Lin Xian. Chapter 3881. The golden lotus in the sky was completely condensed from the great Tao. It was abnormally vast and majestic, emitting thousands of rays of light. There were even mysterious notes that pulsed between heaven and earth. It was as if an ancient god was whispering. What a wonderful feeling! Lin Xian was surprised. Was this the heavenly Dao golden lotus? Compared to the Dao flower before, the effect was much better. If he could maintain this state of cultivation for a long time, he estimated that a year would be comparable to a few hundred years outside. This was a very rare cultivation opportunity. One had to know that Lin Xian hadn't cultivated for long, and he had to face all the powerhouses in the universe. In this way, time was very important to him. Now that there was an opportunity to greatly shorten the gap in time, how could he miss it? The heavenly Dao golden lotus. Heavens, he actually condensed the heavenly Dao golden lotus. The people below were all stunned. Suddenly, their bodies trembled because they felt the other party's gaze looking down. Retreat. These people quickly fled. You want to leave? Lin Xian snorted coldly. The death Dao turned into black chains that swept out in all directions, completely sealing this part of the world. Please don't kill us. These people were terrified. This kind of death Dao made their hair stand on end. They could only support their own laws to resist. Even so, they felt that the slightest carelessness would deprive them of their vitality. The death Dao was a very strange law, and its power was unfathomable. These people didn't dare to resist at all. I'm willing to offer the Dao flower and beg for our lives. These people didn't have many Dao flowers on them, only about 100 or so. It seemed that these people should have passed through the bronze door, but it was better than nothing. More than 800 Dao flowers appeared beside Lin Xian. A golden lotus bloomed, surrounded by countless flowers of the great Tao. It made Lin Xian look like a god. You can escape death, but you can't escape punishment. I'll suppress you for 500 years. Lin Xian conjured 2 mountains to suppress these people. These 2 mountains, one of them was the 5 Elements Mountain, the other was the Death Demon Mountain. They covered the sky and earth, completely sealing these people. The earth trembled, the clouds rolled, and all sorts of miserable cries for mercy rang out. However, Lin Xian did not pay any attention to him. Instead, he turned his head and looked ahead. Previously, the 2 men from the Great Desolation Mansion had wanted to capture some geniuses to explore the cave ahead. In that case, there should be something in the cave. He flew in the direction he had come from. Sure enough, there was a cave in front of him. Looking at it from a high altitude, the mountain looked very strange. It was like an overturned gourd. There were 2 caves with 1 entrance. The cave at the front was small, while the one at the back was large. He wondered what was inside. Lin Xian used his Tianji God eyes, but he couldn't see through it. Since that was the case, he might as well go in and take a look. Lin Xian had originally planned to go to Roland's Golden Palace, but this cave had piqued his curiosity. Since the Roland's Golden Palace couldn't run away, why not explore this mysterious cave first? Lin Xian turned into a stream of light and rushed forward. In the blink of an eye, they entered the cave. It was very dark inside the cave. Some places were covered with moss, and there was even the sound of dripping water. It seemed to be a very ordinary cave. However, the further in he went, the more Lin Xian felt a mysterious aura. He found some skin. He didn't know what kind of demonic beast it was, but it was very old. It turned into ashes with a slight touch. Suddenly, Lin Xian noticed that there seemed to be a faint light flashing in front of him. In this dark cave, it was like a bright pearl. He quickly turned his gaze and looked forward. He found some broken stones in front of him, and there was a light under those stones. Lin Xian waved his sleeve, and all the stones flew out. Soon, the light became stronger and brighter, illuminating the entire cave. The next moment, Lin Xian sucked in a cold breath. This is the elixir of immortality. His eyes were wide open. He was too shocked. He had seen this elixir in the nest of 10,000 dragons. However, there were countless experts and saints in hibernation in the nest of 10,000 dragons. That elixir was incomparably mysterious. He had only seen it before, but he couldn't obtain it at all. He didn't expect to see it again here. The immortal elixir in front of him was the size of 2 palms. It was like a small true dragon, vivid and lifelike. The aura emitted from it was really too terrifying. Lin Xian discovered that this small immortal elixir kept hitting the surroundings, but it was bounced back by the array formation. There was actually an array formation sealing it. But thinking about it, how could such a precious elixir not have an array formation protection? Lin Xian began to walk around the array formation to observe. He frowned. This array formation was very strong, but it had been set up for too long. Its current power was no longer the peak of the past. It wasn't impossible for him to destroy it. Lin Xian decided to use the great dragon's sword soul. To be honest, he was really too excited. One had to know that only a great emperor was worthy of possessing the immortal elixir. If others could obtain it, it would be a heaven-defying opportunity. If they obtained it, they would be able to live a second life. This was equivalent to having 2 lives. Although Lin Xian was still young, the path of a great emperor was incomparably difficult. No one could guarantee that they would be able to take that step in the end. Now that there was such a divine elixir here, how could he not be moved? Taking a deep breath, he took out the great dragon sword soul and used all his strength to break the array formation. This was a difficult battle. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. The great dragon sword soul was such a terrifying, unparalleled saint art, but at this moment it only left a small crack. However, Lin Xian wasn't discouraged. not to mention a month. Even if it took 8 to 10 years, he would still break it. In the blink of an eye, another 2 months had passed. During these 3 months, the Roland's golden palace outside spat out a few treasures, causing everyone to fight. Lei Jin put his life on the line and obtained one. Other than that, Li Hongxiu, Murong Qingqing, and Gao Yu all fought hard and obtained a treasure. There were even some who obtained it. Among them, there was a woman in a black dress who was very mysterious. Countless people exclaimed, "Were the people of the Ghost Hell Land also here?" This battle caused the 3 rivers to shatter, the heavens to fall, and the earth to crack. Many experts fell, and some of the younger generation rose up and became famous. After this battle, everyone went into hiding again, waiting for the next opening of the Roland's Golden Palace. In the gourd cave, Lin Xian also let out a sigh of relief. Great! His eyes exploded with a piercing cold light. In the beginning, it was difficult to break the array formation, but after a small crack, the speed at which it was broken was simply 1,000 miles a day. It was really too fast. This array formation would soon break. 10 days later, with a cracking sound, a crack appeared in the array formation. The surrounding light quickly dimmed. That's great. Lin Xian waved the dragon-shaped sword, causing the crack to widen again. He reached out a hand and grabbed inside. Not old medicine, here I come. All of a sudden, the godly herb let out a cold laugh. Following that, it turned into a ray of light and pierced toward Lin Xian's forehead. Chapter 3882. Lin Xian jumped in fright. He hadn't expected the immortality elixir to be so powerful. It made his hair stand on end. He couldn't dodge in time and could only use his heavenly secret divine eyes to shoot out terrifying golden light blades. Even the sound of the blue tide was used by him. The surrounding void continued to shatter. With a clang, the eye technique light blades he shot out were actually shattered. Even the blue tide had a crack in it. That thing was right in front of him. Fortunately, his heavenly secret divine eyes weren't for show. That thing was also affected and screamed crazily as it rolled away. "Damn brat! How dare you hurt my soul?" The voice was full of resentment. Lin Xian also frowned. What's going on? Is this the aura of a divine medicine? He focused his attention. In the next moment, he was extremely shocked. No, the appearance of the true dragon divine medicine has disappeared, and there's no great path or light in front of me. In its place was a toad lying there with a pair of big eyes that emitted a terrifying light. What's going on? Lin Xian was stunned. Where's the true dragon, divine medicine? Was it snatched away by the other party? Or is there no true dragon, divine medicine at all? Is this all a trap? Who are you? Why are you here? Lin Xian asked coldly. The toad snorted coldly and then laughed. Don't you know who I am? Kid, I have to thank you for helping me break the array formation and letting me see the light of day again. At the end of his sentence, he began to chuckle. Oh no. Lin Xian's pupils constricted. Damn it, it's really the other party. The true dragon divine medicine from before should be the other party's illusion. I didn't recognize it. This toad's cultivation was way too deep. Moreover, why would it be sealed here? One had to know that this was the celestial fate star. It opened once every 500 years, and each time, only the top elites could enter. They were looking for the celestial fate and opportunities. However, they couldn't stay here indefinitely. After searching for opportunities, they would be teleported away. The celestial fate star had been sealed for a long time. Why would it appear here? Is it a creature from the celestial fate star? Was it sealed by the last expert who came to the celestial fate star? Who am I? Humph, kid, I'm a supreme demon saint with a supreme bloodline flowing in my veins. You're just a puny human. Why aren't you kneeling and greeting me? You? Toad? Lin Xian's face full of disdain. It seems that you don't know my strength. Well, I'll subdue you first. That toad's arrogance. He puffed his cheeks and TSSSS. SS Lin Xian originally had a look of disdain on his face. However, when he sensed the liquid, his expression changed. His figure flickered as he quickly left. Tiagug. The Uran! S. Pierce! TTT-S. With a squeak, he opened his mouth, and his tongue seemed to turn into a bolt of lightning, instantly attacking. Lin Xian's face darkened. He snorted coldly. I don't care what you are. I think you've been sealed for too long. How dare you attack me? He raised his hand, and countless laws revolved around him. The 9-yang divine fire danced, and this attack completely enveloped the other party's zzzz. In the next moment, the toad screamed and retracted its tongue. Its eyes were filled with shock. Damn it, it scalded me. Kid, if you dare to burn me, I'll drown you. As he spoke, he puffed up his cheeks again, and with a swoosh, he spurted out a terrifying wave. The law of water was unparalleled. It could actually contend against the 9-yang divine fire. It was really too unbelievable. What's the origin of this toad? One had to know that the top geniuses outside weren't Lin Xian's. Was this toad's strength not inferior to the chief disciples? At the thought of this, Lin Xian decisively made his move and charged forward. The two of them fought, and the more the toad fought, the more shocked it became. To be honest, its origin was very extraordinary. Although it was suppressed, it didn't mean that it was weak. Now that it was out, it originally thought that it could laugh in all directions. However, it didn't expect to meet a difficult opponent as soon as it came out. Damn kid, why is he so strange? Toad, you want to sweep through the world? Let me tell you, I'm the weakest in the outside world. You can't even defeat me, yet you dare to go out. I advise you to obediently dig a hole and bury yourself in it. Impossible. The toad jumped up, its face full of fear. This is the weakest strength? It wouldn't believe it, even if it was beaten to death. Or could it be that the outside world had undergone earth-shattering changes? Lin Xian sneered. He could feel that the other party's heart was in a mess, because there were some flaws in the other party's divine abilities. He seized the opportunity and quickly counterattacked, suppressing the toad to a disadvantage. At the same time, he approached the toad with his strong physique and kept hitting it. The toad kept rolling on the ground as its eyes rolled back. However, what surprised Lin Xian was that the other party's physique was incomparably strong. He couldn't break the other party's body. Damn it, it hurts. The toad was so angry that it was foaming at the mouth and rolling its eyes. I'll fight it out with you. His body suddenly swelled, and his cheeks were like pinwheels that kept bulging. A terrifying aura flowed out. It seemed that the other party was going to use his trump card. Lin Xian also attacked decisively. A piercing light burst out from his eyes, and the death law flew out, turning into dozens of black chains that rushed forward. Take my killing move, the toad opposite him shouted. Just as he was about to attack, he realized that many black chains had appeared around him, trying to bind him. He had a disdainful expression. His physique was so strong that even if the other party trapped him, they couldn't hurt him at all. However, in the next moment, he screamed in horror. Damn it, what's this? His swollen body instantly caved in, and his entire body bounced up, tearing through the void. He snatched away the cage. You actually know this kind of law. He was too shocked. Just now, his chi and blood seemed to have encountered ice and became weak. He hadn't felt this kind of feeling for many years. Damn it, who are you? Are you the successor of the Ghost Emperor? Or the successor of the Emperor of Death? He screamed crazily. Ghost Emperor? Emperor of Death? Lin Xian was surprised. Could it be that he's a great Emperor-level figure? This toad actually knows about great Emperor-level figures? He asked. What? Since you know my background, it seems that your background isn't small either. Kid, don't try to trick me. The toad said in bewilderment. Now let's go our separate ways. I have my own matters to attend to. With that, his body swayed, wanting to leave. Chapter 3883. Lin Xian waved his hand, and countless laws of death condensed in the sky, forming a black curtain that pressed down from the sky. He stopped the other party. "Damn it, what do you want now?" The toad jumped in fright and hurriedly retreated, pulling away. "Don't you think it's too easy to leave? I was the one who saved you, but what I wanted at that time was the immortal medicine. Who would have thought that it was a toad like you? You owe me an immortal medicine. Now return it to me. Damn, kid, don't take advantage of the situation." The toad directly jumped up. "Let me tell you, I'm not to be trifled with. Don't think that your laws are powerful. If I want to fight, you might not be able to beat me." "Is that so? Then let's try." Lin Xian attacked again, courting death. The toad was also angry, and the two fought again. This time, heaven and earth shattered, and the surroundings kept collapsing. He didn't know what was strange about this gourd mountain. After such a terrifying battle, it wasn't damaged at all. "All right, let's stop fighting." After thousands of moves, the toad begged for mercy. He was in pain all over, and his blood was boiling. He even vomited blood. There was no choice. Although his skin was thick, the other party's strength was too terrifying. Moreover, there was the law of death. He was in danger at any time. "Stop fighting?" Lin Xian sneered. He wouldn't let go so easily. The great dragon, sword soul in his body rumbled, and a dragon's roar sounded. The toad's bloodline trembled, and it revealed a look of shock. "Dragon's roar. Damn it, who exactly are you?" As soon as he finished speaking, he was sent flying by a sword light. This sword almost split him in half. "Stop, I admit defeat. I'm afraid of you, okay?" The toad was really afraid this time. "Don't you want treasures?" "I know, I'll take you there." Hearing this, Lin Xian stopped and asked coldly, "Don't play tricks with me, or you'll end up very miserably." "Humph, don't underestimate me. Since I've said it, it's hard to take it back." As he said that, the toad waved his claws. "Follow me." He hopped in front and led the way, while Lin Xian cautiously followed behind. Soon he realized that Toad wanted to continue walking inside. This was originally a gourd cave. The front cave was small, while the back cave was large. He had released the toad from the front cave. At this moment, the place they were heading to was the large cave at the back. This cave had become even darker. There was a mysterious aura around him. But fortunately, Lin Xian was very strong. Moreover, after cultivating the law of death, the cold aura around him was no longer a threat to him. However, he didn't know what the treasure was. After walking for a while, the toad stopped and said unhappily, "We're here. It's just ahead." Lin Xian condensed his divine flame into a small sun that floated above his head, illuminating the surroundings. There was nothing in front of him. Lin Xian frowned. "Damn toad, what are you up to now?" The toad snorted coldly. "Brat, what do you know? The treasures here are not something you can understand just by looking at them. You'll know what they are once you walk over. I guarantee that you won't be disappointed." As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Xian sent him flying with a kick. Then, "Help me scout the way first." The toad drew an arc in the air. "F*CK, you dare to kick me?" The toad fell to the front and was very dissatisfied. It rubbed its cheeks and wanted to fight back. However, it rolled its eyes and turned its head, starting to dig at that place. It was unknown what it was digging. The next moment, it became excited. Good stuff. It was indeed good stuff. Buzz! Lin Xian grabbed Little White out of the black earth. Little White was eating the spiritwood peach unhappily. Lin Xian asked if there were any treasures in front. Little White's black, gem-like eyes looked for a long time and revealed a hint of suspicion. "I'm not sure." Lin Xian was surprised. "I'm not sure. That's interesting." One had to know that Little White was an expert at finding treasures. If there was one, there was one. If there wasn't one, there wasn't one. He didn't know what it meant. Could it be that there was really something mysterious in front? This toad wasn't lying. Thinking of this, he decided to give it a try. He walked forward. When the toad saw Lin Xian walking over, it took 2 steps back. "Kid, I'm definitely not lying to you." As it spoke, it pointed forward. Lin Xian took another step forward and walked in the direction the toad pointed at. At the next moment, he activated his ocular technique, wanting to see what was going on. At this moment, the toad beside him suddenly retreated. Ha! It let out a smug laugh. You definitely can't imagine my acting skills. Go and die. Not good, it's a trap. Lin Xian turned his head. Before he could use his power, he instantly disappeared. There was a trace of spatial power in front of him. The toad jumped up and sneered. You want to fight with me? I'll play you to death. Just as it finished speaking, space-time shattered and a huge palm grabbed at it. Damn, it could actually counterattack. The toad was shocked and hurriedly dodged. You have some ability, but you're definitely going to die. It dodged the golden palm and let out a smug laugh. Just as the voice chuckled, a shabby little bowl suddenly appeared above his head and put him inside. Buzz! With a sway of his body, he disappeared as well. The flames in the cave were extinguished and pressed down again. Even the gourd mountain outside slowly disappeared as if it had never appeared. There was a loud bang. A low voice came from the empty hall, followed by the toad's crazy roar. Damn it! Who dares to plot against me? Just as he finished speaking, he was stepped on by a foot. His eyes were about to pop out. Lin Xian's cold voice sounded. I told you not to play tricks, but you didn't listen. Do you really think I can't kill you? Damn it, damn kid, let me go. I'm going to fight you to the death. Lin Xian didn't let go. He stepped on the toad with one foot and asked coldly, Tell me, where is this place? If you let me go, I'll tell you. Lin Xian shot out the chains of the law of death and locked them on the toad's body. Then he let go of his foot. If you dare to play tricks again, I'll turn you into a pile of bones. Damn it, how dare you kidnap me? The toad was very dissatisfied, but after being slapped a few times, it quickly became obedient. Its eyes darted around as if it was very puzzled. It had already dodged the other party's palm, so why was it still brought here? In the next moment, it saw a little monkey sitting on the other party's shoulder and a shabby small bowl on its head. Damn it! How could it forget? It was that bowl that brought it here. Could it be a treasure bowl? It gritted its teeth, and its eyes lit up. Wasn't this guy too mysterious? Whitey also looked at the toad, and then revealed a look of disdain. It stuck out its tongue and stuck it out at the other party. What an ugly toad! Damn it, little guy, who are you calling ugly? The toad jumped up. In the end, it was stepped on by Lin Xian again. Hurry up and say I'm impatient. Chapter 3884. Kid, you are very lucky. Do you know where this is? This is the famous Roland's Golden Palace. There are countless treasures inside. This is a place that countless experts want to enter. However, even if they break their heads, they might not be able to enter. Now, you have been sent here by me. This is the good fortune that you have accumulated over 3 lifetimes. How dare you treat me like this? Roland's Golden Palace. You are saying that this is the Roland's Golden Palace. Lin Xian was stunned. His destination was the Roland's Golden Palace. He thought that he would be delayed for a while. However, he did not expect to arrive at the Roland's Golden Palace. Wait, that's not right. Why is it so desolate? There was no one around except for them. Didn't they say that countless experts and geniuses had come to the Roland's Golden Palace? He looked at the toad with suspicion. This made the toad very unhappy. Damn, kid, what's with your eyes? Are you suspecting me? Lin Xian nodded. I am very suspicious of you. Damn. The toad was so angry that it was about to vomit blood. However, at this moment, a deafening sound came from outside. It came from the passage and reverberated in the hall. What was that sound? Lin Xian frowned. The toad sneered. There must be people outside attacking the Roland's Golden Palace. Did those reckless fellows think that it would be so easy for them to come in? Attacking the Roland's Golden Palace? Lin Xian frowned after hearing this. This meant that countless geniuses had gathered at the Roland's Golden Palace. However, the situation was different from what he had imagined. Those people did not come inside. They were all outside the Roland's golden palace. Perhaps it was very difficult to enter. Therefore, those experts and geniuses were all outside attacking. As for him, he had arrived here with ease. That was interesting. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. If that was the case, it would be a pleasant surprise. He looked at the toad and said coldly, "Damn toad, since you know that this is the Roland's golden palace, you should know where the treasures are. Lead the way. You owe me an immortal divine herb. As long as you give me treasures, I can spare your life. Kid, don't go overboard. What is an immortal divine herb? The Roland's golden palace does not have it. Indeed, no matter how mysterious and powerful the Roland's golden palace was, it might not have the immortal divine herb. That item was too rare. Even a great emperor might not have it. However, Lin Xian's reply was a terrifying foot and the terrifying law of death. The toad was very cowardly and quickly compromised. I'll take you there. He was so angry that he gritted his teeth and rolled his eyes. Lin Xian warned from behind. Last time, you set me up, so I let you off this time. If there's a next time, I'll madly activate the law of death and destroy your soul. Lin Xian didn't know if the toad was really obedient or if Lin Xian was just lucky. Not long after, they found a treasure trove. To be exact, it was a side palace. There was a stone platform inside, and on top of it was a bowl. Inside the bowl there was some liquid. It was as white as jade and emitted a wave of pure energy. Lin Xian was overjoyed after reading it. Could this be dragon marrow? After seeing this, the toad's eyes turned red. It opened its mouth and wanted to eat. He was sent flying by Lin Xian's slap. Whitey came to the stone platform and cried out excitedly. It used its small claws to touch the liquid and tasted it. It was rolling in the air happily. Lin Xian also picked up the bowl and drank a mouthful. Gulp. He felt as if the power in his body was about to explode. That kind of comfort was even better than eating 10 golden crows. Damn, kid, don't go too far. Leave some for me. The toad's eyes turned red. He was really anxious. This really was dragon marrow. Dragon marrow of the earth wasn't something that belonged to the dragon clan. It was condensed from the earth's dragon veins. This wasn't ordinary dragon marrow. It was the highest level of dragon marrow. After 1,000 years of condensation, the dragon veins of an entire world would only produce 1 drop. The amount of dragon marrow in the bowl was only about 1/3 of the bottom of the bowl. However, it was still condensed from dozens of worlds over 1,000 years. Even the holy city didn't have such wealth, but here it was. How could the toad not be anxious? He wanted to go all out. His body swelled again. The black chains of the law of death began to tremble violently. Lin Xian was shocked. This toad was indeed extraordinary. He still needed it to continue searching for treasures. So he stopped. There are 3 drops left for you. What? Only 3 drops left. The toad's heart was bleeding. Its eyes seemed to be able to kill people. Lin Xian sneered. Why don't we split it? You're ruthless. With a swoosh, he sucked the 3 drops into his mouth. In the next moment, his body was covered in a colorful light. It was too comfortable. He was so excited that he jumped wildly. It was as if he was going to tear the world apart. Lin Xian sat down cross-legged. How could he waste such a good thing? He quickly refined it. His physique might even be able to reach a higher level. There were more than 30 drops in the bowl. Lin Xian ate 20 drops, Whitey ate 10, and the remaining 3 were given to the toad. Lin Xian's body glowed as he ate. The dragon's sword soul in his body roared. This thing was very useful for the recovery of the dragon's sword soul. On the other side, the toad didn't attack. Instead, it hugged the bowl and sucked crazily. The bottom of the bowl was rotten. I can't waste it. In the end, it wanted to eat the entire bowl. It almost burst its mouth. It could only spit it out again. Let's go and search again. Not long after, Lin Xian stood up. The toad's eyes were about to pop out. Damn, kid, you've digested it. You haven't improved your cultivation. It looked as if it had seen a ghost. More than 20 drops. That was top-grade dragon marrow. It could be condensed in a world. After eating it, Lin Xian should have improved by leaps and bounds. But it seemed that there was no change. Lin Xian said, "How can you know my foundation? Lead the way." To be honest, he was also shocked. This thing had made his physique stronger, but it hadn't broken through. After all, what he cultivated was a divine body. The legendary physique was harder to cultivate the further one progressed. The resources required would also increase exponentially. In the end, it would increase by dozens or hundreds of times. Therefore, it was much more difficult to improve the nine-yang divine body. In particular, there was still the dragon's sword soul. It was probably even harder to evolve than the nine-yang divine body. Therefore, this dragon marrow was really not enough. Let's go and find it. The toad was also spirited this time. He began to bargain. In the end, Lin Xian decided to give him 5 drops. The toad was about to go crazy with anger. However, on second thought, it was better than 3 drops. Therefore, he couldn't wait to start searching. Sure enough, this guy really found it. There was another stone platform with a bowl on it. The amount of dragon marrow inside was about the same as before. After the few of them divided it, they were incomparably excited. Lin Xian could clearly feel that his strength had changed, especially his physique and dragon sword soul. They had become stronger than before. He didn't break through. If he wanted to break through, he would need much more energy than others. However, his strength had still improved. Moreover, his laws were tempered by the heavenly Tao golden lotus, and his physique and dragon soul were nourished by the dragon marrow. His strength could be said to have improved comprehensively. But when they found the 3rd stone platform, they were stunned. Chapter 3885. What's going on? The bowl is empty. The toad jumped up. Lin Xian also frowned. It seemed that it was eaten by someone 500 years ago. There was still some energy left on it. It was eaten by someone just now. Damn it, who was it? Someone came in. The toad screamed. Lin Xian was astonished as well. The little white monkey beside him took a closer look and nodded as well. Yeah, the ugly toad was right. Someone just got it. Lin Xian was too shocked. What's going on? Is there anyone else in the Roland's golden palace other than them? Had the people outside already broken in? Damn it, don't let me know who it is. Otherwise, I'll teach them a lesson. The toad gritted its teeth. This shocked them. Soon, they found that the door of a secret room in front of them was pried open. The array above was also broken. It can't be. Who is it? This time, the toad was really panicking. The dragon marrow on the stone platform was stolen. There was no problem. It was someone else's good luck. However, how could the restriction be so easily broken by someone else? That made his hair stand on end. Damn it! Could it be that someone in the Roland's golden palace was alive? The toad trembled. Lin Xian also frowned. He asked, "What's going on? Is there someone else in the Roland's golden palace?" He was too shocked. The toad knew that it had said something wrong, so it quickly shook its head to deny it. What did I say? Someone must have sneaked in. Let's go and find that guy. I must find him. How dare he steal my summon? I'll teach him a lesson. The toad jumped in front of them, hurriedly. Lin Xian knew that this toad must have a lot of secrets in its heart. However, the other party would definitely not say it out loud. Forget it. Now is not the time to talk about these things. When the time comes, let's see who took the treasure. The political and legal department here was not broken. The toad was very excited. It seems that we are ahead of that person. Can you break the array? Lin Xian asked. The toad looked for a long time and said, "It's not easy to break." Lin Xian rolled his eyes. What's there to be happy about? The toad was also angered to the point of vomiting blood. At this moment, a voice rang out behind them. The few of you actually managed to find this place. Do you want this old man to help you break the array? Hearing the voice, Lin Xian and the others were shocked. Then they turned around. Lin Xian's pupils shrank. Toad, on the other hand, jumped up crazily. Damn, what the hell? How dare you play me? Behind him, a pitch-black figure floated. The aura on his body was incomparably mysterious. He wore a large black robe, and his face could not be seen clearly. The other party floated in the air, looking indescribably terrifying. Naturally, he jumped like a toad. Lin Xian was shocked. Then he was overjoyed. It really was you. Old ghost, you're not honest. Haha, laughed the figure. How am I being unkind? Didn't I say that the opportunities on the Heaven's Fate planet depend on yourself? I didn't even bring my disciple with me. I'm already being very kind to you. It turned out that this mysterious figure was none other than Heishan. He had disappeared after entering the Heaven's Fate planet. During this period, no one had seen him. The only news Lin Xian heard was that Heishan was the first person to condense the heavenly Tao Golden Lotus. He did not expect to meet him here. It seemed that the other party was indeed mysterious. He knew the secret of the Heaven's Fate planet. Otherwise, how could he appear here? Heishan was also shocked. You're amazing. You actually managed to come here. Outside, countless geniuses and chief disciples were going crazy. They didn't even manage to enter the Golden Palace. You also seem to have obtained a lot of good stuff, right? To be honest, Heishan was indeed shocked. He could come here because he had been to the Heaven's Fate planet once. But where was Lin Xian? Why was Lin Xian here? Not just anyone could enter the Roland's Golden Palace. It was a coincidence. It was all thanks to this fellow. Lin Xian pointed at the toad. Heishan also looked over and revealed a look of surprise when he saw the toad. His aura was not ordinary. The toad felt goosebumps. He stiffened his neck and said, "Old Black, what are you looking at? Have you never seen me so handsome?" Hearing this, Lin Xian's mouth twitched. Heishan was silent for a while. He also said, "Can I beat him up?" "Sure, whatever." This fellow's skin was very thick. Lin Xian shrugged. Heishan let out a strange laugh and started to attack. "Damn, how dare you bully me? I'll fight it out with you." The toad wanted to fight back. However, it ended up in a miserable state. It was beaten black and blue. Damn, how could this old Black be so powerful? The toad felt that it was unbelievable, especially the mysterious aura coming from the other party. It could not see through him. Damn it, this was an incredible person. Although his cultivation wasn't very strong, his aura was simply too mysterious. All right, kid, hurry up and find your opportunity. I'm going to find mine. After saying that, Heishan turned around and floated away. Let's go too. Lin Xian and the rest went on their way again, outside the Roland's Golden Palace. At this moment, the elites had already started to attack. Because there were no treasures flying out during this period, they were not satisfied, especially the chief disciples, who were terrifying elites. They decided to attack the Roland's Golden Palace. If they could break through the defense and enter, it would definitely be a great opportunity, especially the chief disciples who took the lead. Everyone was full of confidence. They started to attack crazily. However, the result was out of their expectations. They attacked together for 5 days, but they could not break through the defense at all. This made them feel hopeless. Could it be that they could not enter at all? Damn, how could it be? Lei Zhan, the 9-headed Qilin, the 7th prince, and the 1st prince gritted their teeth. They could not accept this fact. Damn, I don't believe it. They attacked crazily again, but it was useless. Just as they were in despair, there was a change in the Roland's Golden Palace. Countless lights appeared above the Roland's Golden Palace. The door opened. However, it only lasted for a short time. This shocked everyone. What was going on? The Roland's Golden Palace opened on its own? That's great. They waited quietly. They were waiting for the next time it opened, and then these people would fight. Everyone wanted to enter, but the time was too short. These people wanted to be the first to enter. In the end, it was a stalemate. When the Roland's golden door closed, no one entered. Everyone vomited blood. Ah, damn, this is bad. Let's split up and enter in order. The seventh prince walked out and said loudly, "Sure, I'll be the first to enter." The nine-headed Qilin was extremely handsome. His voice was not loud, but it spread clearly. Chapter 3886. You're courting death. The seventh prince was furious. He made this suggestion because he wanted to be the first to enter. How could he let the other party get what he wanted? Nine-headed Qilin turned his head and stared at the other party. He was not afraid at all. "If you want to fight, I'll accompany you to the end." The suggestion was naturally impossible. None of these chief disciples were willing to submit to others. Therefore, when the Golden Gate opened for the second time, these people fell into chaos once again. However, Lei Zhen turned into a ray of light. A pair of thunder wings appeared on his back. There were runes on it. His thunder spirit body and bloodline were fully activated. This allowed his speed to reach the extreme. Buzz! In an instant, he rushed forward. In the next moment, he disappeared from the Golden Palace. "Damn it, how dare you!" The seventh prince roared crazily. The first prince also roared and attacked. The surrounding people were all furious and attacked crazily. The laws were like waves, blotting out the sky and covering the earth as they swept forward. However, the Golden Palace was closed. The energy only caused a slight ripple when it hit the door. It did not cause any damage at all. Damn it! Nine-headed Qilin's handsome face was covered with ice. The others were also gnashing their teeth. Damn it! Why did he let this Lei Zhen beat him to it? That's great! On the other hand, the Thunder God City's side was cheering. Their chief disciple had entered, and he was the first to enter. Not only that, he was the only one to enter. Didn't that mean that the entire Golden Palace had become Lei Zhen's backyard? He could take as many treasures as he wanted. Thinking of this, the people from Thunder God City were so excited that they almost fainted. The others naturally knew this too. Therefore, their eyes were red as they stared at Thunder God City with unfriendly expressions. Damn it! The seventh prince was the first to get angry and attacked first. The first prince also attacked. Even nine-headed Qilin attacked. Damn it! What are you guys trying to do? The people from Thunder God City were so scared that their hair stood on end. You guys can't do this. They were sent flying in an instant, coughing up mouthfuls of blood. With someone taking the lead, the other experts naturally attacked as well. In an instant, the people from Thunder God City screamed miserably. Some of them were seriously injured. Many of them vomited blood crazily. Of course, no one died. It seemed that these sacred cities knew their limits. Perhaps they were afraid of Lei Zhen. After all, it was unknown what kind of heaven-defying fortuitous encounter one would obtain after entering the lightning array. They were only attacking now to vent the anger in their hearts. However, even with this being the case, Thunder God City was still dealt with in an extremely miserable manner. Damn it, damn it. Some of the disciples gritted their teeth, but they were stopped by the experts. Don't worry. Wait for Lei Zhen to come out. At that time, we'll be able to sweep through everything. Yes, wait for senior brother Lei Zhen. These people began to wait expectantly. Inside the Golden Palace, with a flash of light, a silhouette streaked across the sky like a bolt of lightning. He was Lei Zhen. After he came in, he threw his head back and laughed. Ha ha, that's great. He was really too excited. He was the first to come in, and also the only one to come in. He could have as many treasures as he wanted. So how could he not be happy? Deep in Roland's Golden Palace, the toad was startled. Damn, who's making that weird noise? Could it be that Black Mountain old ghost? Lin Xian also stopped in his tracks and frowned. It wasn't Heishan, it was someone else. Someone had entered. Let's go and take a look. Lin Xian naturally knew that some of the commotion outside could be heard. During this period of time, those experts and geniuses outside had been attacking crazily. Thinking about it, someone must have succeeded. He wondered how many people had entered this time. Were the people from Peerless City among them? And Qiu'er and Qingcheng, were they here? Did Rizalong and the North Demon come in? Lin Xian was very concerned about this, so he was prepared to go and take a look. Damn, kid, you're not going to look for treasures? Forget it, I'll go with you. The toad called out twice and realized that Lin Xian didn't turn back, so it could only follow. Actually, they had also realized that other than the treasures at the beginning that were easier to obtain, the remaining treasures had extremely strong seals that were hard to break. This golden palace might have some other secrets. Lin Xian wasn't in a hurry. He had to find out who had entered. On the other side, Lei Zhen stopped laughing and started to look around curiously. The spacious hall had tunnels that extended in all directions. They were bottomless and no one knew where they led. But thinking about it, no matter which path he took, there should be treasures. He took the main path, turned into lightning, and flew forward quickly. After flying for a while, he stopped. What was going on? His eyes widened as if he had seen a ghost. His smug smile froze on his face. Lin Wudi, it's you? Damn it, how is this possible? How could you be here? Lei Zhen screamed crazily. He was about to be confused. Wasn't he the only one who came in? Why was there someone else here? Moreover, the other party was in front of him. Could it be that the other party had already come in? How was that possible? They had been guarding the Golden Palace all this time. During this period, they didn't notice Lin Xian's figure at all, let alone such a big thing as someone coming in. It would definitely alarm them. Therefore, they were sure that no one could enter. Yet, the other party had appeared here. Lei Zhen was completely bewildered. In front, Lin Xian also stopped, revealing a hint of surprise. Then he sneered. I was wondering who it was, so it's you, the loser. Why is it only you? Where are the powerhouses of Thunder God City? Stop lying in ambush and come out quickly. Oh, right. Where are the Golden Crow Prince and Nine-Headed Qilin? Let the two of them come over and die. Are you courting death? Hearing the words loser, Lei Zhang was so angry that he vomited blood. Kid, I don't need anyone else. I can deal with you alone. Lei Zhen gritted his teeth. Losing to the other party last time was a great humiliation to him, so he must kill his way back. With just you? Lin Xian was disdainful. You are not my opponent. Lei Zhen vomited blood. Don't underestimate me. My current strength is much stronger than before, and I even obtained a treasure. Do you really think you can defeat me now? The corner of his mouth raised into a cold smile. Indeed, he risked his life and obtained a treasure. He obtained a piece of talisman paper, a very ancient talisman paper. There was a great Tao drawn on it, and he didn't know who carved it. However, its power was unparalleled. There was a long sword carved on it. After Lei Zhen obtained it, he studied it and found that as long as he poured his energy into it, the long sword on the talisman paper would appear and be used as a weapon. Its power was much stronger than an ordinary saint weapon. It was a high-grade saint weapon that could reach the moon level. Chapter 3887. That was too extraordinary. One had to know that it was very difficult for ordinary people to own a saint weapon. Even if they did, it would only be a low-grade saint weapon. It was already very rare to have a mid-grade saint weapon, let alone a high-grade saint weapon. Although this talisman wasn't a saint weapon, it could erupt with the power of a high-grade saint weapon. Of course, there was a flaw, and that was the time and number of times it could be used. Lei Zhen guessed that this thing was left behind by an ancient super saint and could be used 3 to 5 times. The number of times it could be used wasn't much, but it was enough to kill the opponent. This was equivalent to a trump card, and Lei Zhen planned to use it from the beginning. Kid, I'll let you know how powerful I am. Lei Zhen took out the ancient talisman and released his energy. The ancient talisman bloomed with light, and a thunder sword appeared in his hand. The aura it emitted was too terrifying. The current Lei Zhen was confident that he could fight against a minor saint. Damn, there's actually a treasure! The toad exclaimed, and so did Lin Xian. He narrowed his eyes. This aura, is it a high-grade saint weapon? No, it's not an ancient saint weapon, but something similar to one. It seemed that this Lei Zhen also had a fortuitous encounter. Lin Xian was surprised. This was already very amazing. One had to know that his unparalleled sword was only a mid-grade saint weapon of the moon level. After all, it was forged based on the weapon of the Saint King. It was more of a symbol of status. In addition to the unparalleled sword, Lin Xian also had the Great Destruction Spear. This was an inherited weapon, so Lin Xian didn't know its specific grade. But thinking about it, it should be very mysterious and powerful. Anyway, Lin Xian's strength had increased, and he felt that the power of the Great Destruction Spear had also increased. Other than that, he had never seen a high-grade saint weapon. He didn't expect that the opponent had something similar. Kid, are you afraid? If you're afraid, then kneel down obediently. Lei Zhen began to laugh maniacally. Lin Xian snorted coldly. You don't know what's good for you. I don't need to personally deal with a loser like you. Toad, you're up. Lin Xian kicked the toad away. I'll give you a chance to prove yourself. Defeat him for me. Damn. Brat, don't go too far. The toad was also angry. I'm not your little brother. So what right do you have to order me around? Lin Xian said, if you beat him, I'll give you 3 more drops of dragon marrow next time. Damn. Kid, you're a man of your word. I'm going to fight it out with him. The toad turned its head and stared at Lei Zhen. Come over here and kneel before me, obediently admitting defeat. Lei Zhen was fuming with anger. A toad dared to show off in front of him? Lin Wudi, what do you mean? Are you afraid to fight me? Lin Xian shrugged. You're no match for me. I'll just let my underlings fight. The toad was also enraged. Damn, you actually dare to ignore me? I'll beat your face until it blossoms. It opened its mouth and spat out a green poisonous liquid. The liquid spread between heaven and earth and swept towards Lei Zhen. You're courting death. I'm going to kill you today, then kill that kid. Lei Zhen's eyes flashed with terrifying lightning. He was really angry. The power of lightning exploded from his body. It was unparalleled, causing the entire world to shake. The toad was even more arrogant. When I ruled the world, your grandfather wasn't even born yet. Boom! Lei Zhen couldn't take it anymore and attacked. A terrifying fist exploded in all directions. The sky was filled with lightning. He didn't need to use his killer move to deal with a toad. Thus, he put away the paper talisman. The way he saw it, he would be able to pierce through the toad with a single strike. However, things were out of his expectations. The toad's strength was beyond his imagination. The toad moved freely between heaven and earth. After being struck by lightning, its body turned black and it let out a miserable cry. Damn, you dare to attack me? I'll vomit you to death. More and more green poisonous liquid spread between heaven and earth, melting the lightning. The toad charged forward. With a cry, it spat out a sound wave. The supreme Tao surged, and the laws spread. The sound wave was like a peerless heavenly blade that charged towards Lei Zhen. You're courting death. Lei Zhen was furious. How could a toad be so strong? He attacked crazily. The two of them fought. 1 move, 2 moves. In the blink of an eye, 100 moves had passed. Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back and watched the battle. You dare to call yourself a peerless genius? I think you might as well go home and sell sweet potatoes. Ah, Lei Zhen was so angry that he vomited blood. It was too embarrassing. He couldn't defeat a toad after more than 100 moves. The toad was also clamoring. Damn, this kid's strength is not bad. He can actually fight with me for so long. Interesting. Look at my ultimate move. A ray of light flew out. It was like a piercing red sunset rolling in the sky, tearing apart the lightning. Lei Zhan was shocked and quickly retreated. However, the length of the ray of light was beyond his imagination. In the blink of an eye, he was surrounded. Then it quickly grabbed over. Godly Toad Fist! The toad raised its claws and slapped over in an overwhelming manner. Lei Zhan's body was surrounded by lightning. Although his defense was strong, a few slaps landed on his face, leaving claw marks on his face. Lei Zhan's eyes immediately turned red. Go to hell! An unparalleled power of thunder erupted. The pair of thunder wings on his back turned into a heavenly blade. However, when the toad attacked, it took away the poison and seeped into Lei Zhan's body bit by bit. At this moment, Lei Zhan was poisoned. His face was a little green. Ha ha ha, the toad laughed. Now you know how powerful I am. Hurry up and kneel down. Go to hell. Lei Zhan was completely furious. He took out his trump card. The talisman paper turned into a heavenly sword and was held in his hand. With one sword, it split the poison law that filled the sky. It slashed on the toad's body and sent it flying. Let's see how you die. This sword would definitely destroy the other party's soul, right? The toad flew backward and screamed in the air. Damn, you dare to sneak attack me? I'll fight it out with you. What's going on? It didn't die? How is this possible? This is a high-grade sacred artifact. Lei Zhan was about to go into a daze. What kind of physique does this toad have? Why does it feel like it's even stronger than his thunder spirit body? The toad rushed forward, but it soon screamed back. Damn, kid, if you have the ability, don't use the sacred artifact. The lightning sword in the other party's hand was too terrifying. It hit the toad until it vomited blood. Damn, I don't want to play anymore. Fight with him. The toad wanted to retreat, but Lin Xian said, No need. I'll lend you a sacred artifact. He took out the Great Destruction Spear and threw it to the other party. Here, defeat him. Damn, this is a good thing. The toad took the Great Destruction Spear, its eyes red. Kid, where did you get this treasure? Can you give it to me? The toad wanted to hide it secretly, but it was sent flying by Lin Xian with a slap. Hurry up and defeat him. The toad spat. Watch me take care of you. He held the Great Destruction Spear and charged towards Lei Zhan. The two of them fought earth-shattering. Lei Zhan was furious. This was the most aggrieved battle he had ever fought. Originally, he thought that losing to Lin Wuti was the greatest shame of his life. But now, it seemed that this was not a problem at all, because now he was very likely to be defeated by a toad. If this spread out, would he still have the face to live? Chapter 3888. Damn Lin Wuti, do you dare to fight me to the death? Lei Zhan roared crazily. You can't even defeat a toad. Do you think you have the right to fight me? Let's talk after you defeat my underling. Lin Xian waved his hand. Damn it, I'm so angry. Lei Zhan vomited blood. The toad was also unhappy. F***CK, kid, who's your underling? What do you mean? Kill. Suddenly, the power in Lei Zhan's body erupted. He turned into a stream of light that instantly broke through the toad's defense line and charged towards Lin Xian. He couldn't take it anymore, so he erupted with incomparable speed. At the same time, the talisman sword in his hand released a biting cold light. He wanted to use all his strength to kill the other party in one strike. Lei Zhan's speed was very fast. Previously, he relied on this speed to be the first to enter the Golden Palace. Now that he used it, he instantly appeared in front of Lin Xian. Die. The talisman's sword fell, and the surrounding void collapsed. Humph, overestimating yourself. Lin Xian snorted coldly. The great dragon's sword soul roared, and countless rays of light flew out from his hand, forming the 10,000 dragons diagram. With a wave of his palm, Wan Longtu flew out and blocked the sword. A sonorous sound rang out, and the 9 heavens and 10 lands shook. The toad was also sent flying by this force. The 10,000 dragons diagram roared and blocked this shocking attack. Lin Xian looked at Lei Zhen. "Are you so reckless? I'll fulfill your wish." He struck out with his palm again. At this moment, the law of death filled his palm, and the pitch-black palm instantly slapped Lei Zhen's body. The aura of death surged into Lei Zhen's body and erupted crazily. No, how is this possible? Lei Zhen was already shocked that the other party could block his attack. But now, the other party's laws were taking his life. This made him even more terrified. Damn it! Lei Zhen instantly retreated. He realized that it was useless. The law of death locked onto him. He could use the talisman sword to slash away all the laws. However, the aura of death appeared in his body. His internal organs were rapidly festering. The feeling of death surged in his heart. He raised his head to the sky and roared. Endless lightning runes flashed on his body. His thunder spirit body had completely opened. A terrifying aura of destruction rumbled within his body. He wanted to erase the power of death. "Brat, you actually dared to trick me." Lei Zhen's face was extremely pale. "Set you up?" "Humph." Lin Xian snorted coldly. "I already said that you weren't my match, but you didn't know the difference between life and death. You just had to fight me." He had no one to blame but himself for seeking death. "Let me show you my strongest attack." Lei Zhen's face darkened as he made his move. The heavenly sword talisman was unleashed, and his bloodline power was activated rapidly. He wanted to kill his opponent with a single strike. However, at that moment, a white figure appeared behind him. It was Little White. It raised its little paw and slapped him on the head. Lei Zhen instantly became dizzy. "Haha, this is a good opportunity to see my immortal toad art." Light flickered on the toad's body, and a huge phantom rushed out. Even Lin Xian was shocked by the power of this attack. This fella actually had such a trump card. Lei Zhen was in a miserable state. Needless to say, he was sent flying, and there were many cracks on his body. Damn it. After the dizziness ended, he finally regained his senses. However, the power of this attack had already smashed him into pieces. No. Lei Zhen was about to cry, and his eyes were moist. He was really defeated by the toad. This feeling was even worse than death. Outside the Roland's golden palace, everyone was waiting anxiously. Firstly, they didn't know when the king would open again. Moreover, they were more worried about what kind of opportunities Lei Zhen had obtained in the king's golden palace. The top elites couldn't bear it. The treasures were right in front of them, and they could only watch as others snatched them away. Boom! They waited patiently amidst their impatience and uneasiness. At that moment, the door of the Roland's golden palace suddenly opened, and a ray of light flew out. What's going on? Did someone come out? No, treasures. The Roland's golden palace had started to spread the treasures. These people were all excited because the same thing had happened a few times before. For example, the 9-headed Qilin and the rest had obtained treasures before. Now that they saw the same situation, they attacked again. "All of you scram. The treasures are mine." The Golden Crow Prince roared, and the golden crows filled the sky. He would kill anyone who dared to stop him. He was really angry because he couldn't be the first to enter. This made him extremely depressed. He attacked without mercy. The first prince of the new moon race swept across the area with countless moonlight. The 9-headed Qilin was even more terrifying. A monstrous light swept across the area, making it impossible for anyone to get close to him. The other powerful beings and geniuses in the surroundings did the same as well. But soon they were stunned. They realized that it wasn't treasures that had come out, but a person. Moreover, they recognized this person. Wasn't this Lei Zhen? Why did he come out? What had happened? The surroundings were silent. The Golden Crow Prince, the first prince, and the others were also confused. Lei Jin looked extremely strange. His hair was disheveled, his face was pale, and his eyes were bloodshot. There were even tears at the corners of his eyes. What shocked everyone was that the light on his body was dim, and there was a mark on his face. Was he being attacked by someone? Could it be that he had been beaten out? Looking at the claw mark, it should be a demonic beast. Could there be a guardian demonic beast in the Roland's Golden Palace? As soon as these words came out, everyone sucked in a cold breath. The people of the Thunder God City almost fainted. Impossible. They couldn't believe it. Their dreams and hopes were shattered. Previously, Lei Jin, their chief disciple, had surpassed everyone and entered the treasury alone. They felt that he had a bright future ahead of him. But now, Lei Jin had come out not long after he had entered. It seemed like he didn't return with a full load, but was beaten out by someone. Could such a scene lead to treasures? They felt hopeless. The people of the other sacred cities were gloating. A great demon from the 1,000-demon city walked out and cupped his fists. Why is young master Lei out so soon? I wonder what it's like in the Roland's Golden Palace. Are there piles of treasures that can be picked up anywhere? The elites of the New Moon race walked out and laughed. Young Master Lei was injured. Could there be a powerful demonic beast that even young Master Lei couldn't defeat? The elites of the Golden Crow race snorted. Trash! You're just wasting your spot. Those people were also discussing. Even someone as strong as Lei Jin was in such a sorry state. Of course, some of the elites were disdainful. Lei Jin couldn't be compared to them. Being mocked by so many people, Lei Jin felt like he was going to vomit blood. He couldn't hold it in any longer and roared. Tears flowed from the corners of his eyes. Damn you, Lin Wuti. I'll fight you to the death. Chapter 3889. They thought that they would be stronger than Lei Jin and wouldn't be in such a sorry state. However, they were all stunned when they heard that. Even their minds went blank. What was going on? What was Lei Jin shouting about? Lin Wuti? Wasn't he beaten out by the guardian beast? How did it have anything to do with Lin Wuti? Could it be that Lin Wuti beat Lei Jin out of the palace? Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air when they thought of that. No way. Wasn't Lei Jin the first to enter? When did Lin Wuti enter? Impossible, he hadn't appeared at all. He hadn't even seen the Golden Palace. How could he be inside? The elites of the sacred city shook their heads frantically. However, Lei Jin's words were too strange and made them very confused. Gao Yu, Li Hongxiu, and the others were also surprised. Lin Wuti? Could it be that he was inside? This kid was a little interesting. Li Hongxiu narrowed her eyes. Murong Qingqing also raised the corner of her mouth into a smile. Brother Xian was indeed worthy of his reputation. He actually went in early. Indeed, after such a long time, Murong Qingqing was very worried about what had happened. But now it seemed that her worries were unnecessary. With Lin Xian's strength, she didn't need to worry about him at all. He had already entered the Golden Palace in advance. The Crimson Dragon, the Northern Demons, and the people of Wushuang City, who were hiding in the dark, were also shocked when they heard that. It was eldest senior brother. Eldest senior brother defeated Lei Jin. Damn, that kid went in. How did he do it? The Crimson Dragon and the others were also surprised. Of course, some people didn't believe it. What a joke! How could Lin Wuti be inside? From what I see, some people can't hold it in anymore and are starting to find excuses, right? The people of the Golden Crow clan and the Myriad Demon City looked at Lei Jin with a hint of mockery in their eyes. The people of Thunder God City surrounded him. Senior brother, what's going on? Yes, what happened? Why did you come out early? Lei Jin's face darkened. What should he say? Was he beaten out by a toad? Once he said that, how could he show his face? The whole world would probably laugh at him. Thus, he could only remain silent. In the end, when he was asked anxiously, he said that it was extremely dangerous inside. It was absolutely not a place that anyone could casually enter. Not to mention me, if anyone else went in, they would also be defeated. If you don't believe me, just wait and see. He could only grit his teeth and retreat into the distance. But his heart was still gloomy. Lei Jin couldn't. You think you're worthy of being on the same level as us? The Golden Crow Prince stood out with a look of disdain. Nine-headed Qilin nodded his head as well. You're probably the weakest amongst all the chief disciples. I thought that you had the strength to make it to the pilgrim rankings, but now it seems that you still need to train for another 300 years. The first prince of the New Moon clan also walked out. Brother Lei Jin, you can take a break now. Let us make our move. After all, if you were to attack again, it would be a waste of a spot. Being ridiculed by so many people, Lei Jin was so angry that blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. The people of Thunder God City were also extremely depressed. Previously, they had been attacked by these people and had been beaten miserably. However, they accepted it. As long as Lei Jin could take out a heavenly treasure, it would be worth it. But now, they had suffered a double loss. They had been beaten up for nothing, and Lei Jin had also been eliminated. Next, form the Myriad Moon Great Formation and trap them. As long as you trap them for a second, I can enter. The first prince of the New Moon clan began to give orders to the experts beside him. Those experts held the formation in their hands, ready to move at any time. After waiting for 2 days, the Golden Palace finally opened again. Everyone was fighting crazily. Lei Jin didn't attack, and neither did the people of Thunder God City. The Golden Crow Prince swept through the area with thousands of flames. Nine-headed Qilin was even more terrifying, his demonic aura soaring into the sky. In the end, it was the first prince of the New Moon clan who entered. The Myriad Moon Great Formation was activated, and the first prince brought several sacred artifacts to support the formation, blocking his opponent for a second. In the next second, he successfully entered. Great! The people of the New Moon clan cheered wildly. They saw boundless hope. Damn it! The Golden Crow Prince shattered the 9 heavens and 10 earths, burning the ground below to ashes. He was furious and didn't enter again. Nine-headed Qilin's handsome face turned ashen as well. He had failed this time, but he must enter next time. Find the Void Beast for me. He was going to use some of his trump cards. Princess, the situation isn't good. The first prince has entered. Gao Yu's people looked worried. Although they were all from the New Moon clan, they were like fire and water. No matter, let's wait and see. Gao Yu was also calm. Although the first prince is powerful, he's not much weaker than Lei Jin. If Lei Jin was beaten so badly, do you think the first prince will end up well? Moreover, it seems to be related to Lin Wudi. We're not in a hurry. Li Hongxiao, Murong Qingqing, and even the mysterious woman in black were all waiting and watching. Lei Jin opened his eyes and snorted. You don't know what's good for you. Do you think there's a treasure inside? Going into suicide. When he said that, everyone was shocked again. What does Lei Jin mean? What's inside? However, no matter how they asked, Lei Jin did not speak. At that moment, he had to quickly recover his cultivation. He had lost to the toad previously. Moreover, Lin Xian had a kind of death law that could deprive him of his vitality. This made him feel like he was facing a great enemy. What was even more despicable was that the path flowers that he had just condensed were all snatched away by the other party. That was close to 2,000. His heart was bleeding. This time, it was the first prince of the New Moon clans turn to wait with hope. However, 3 days later, these people despaired. The others were also dumbfounded. It turned out that 3 days later, the first prince was also beaten out. His hair was disheveled, his body was covered in blood, and there were many claw marks on his face. Damn it! Lin Wudi, I'm going to kill you. After the first prince came out, he roared crazily. He was so angry that white smoke rose from his body. What's going on? Is the first prince defeated too? These people were stunned. He was not weaker than the chief disciples. Even the two chief disciples had suffered a loss inside. What exactly was inside? Why did the other party call for Lin Wudi after coming out? Could it be that Lin Wudi was really inside? At that moment, everyone was extremely shocked. At the same time, they were extremely curious. What's inside? Impossible. The first prince. Your Highness. The people of the New Moon clan rushed over crazily. Their eyes were filled with despair. Gao Yu heaved a sigh of relief. They had really failed. Gao Yu, on the other hand, felt that there was something strange about the surroundings. If the other party called for Lin Wudi, it meant that Lin Wudi was inside. However, looking at the injuries on his body, it was obvious that he was injured by a monster. Was there an extremely powerful monster by Lin Wudi's side? Chapter 3890. Not only Gao Yu, but the others were also guessing. Only Lei Zhen's mouth curled into a sneer. Humph, I said that going in as courting death. Now, he had a feeling of schadenfreude. It seemed that the other party was also defeated by the toad. To be honest, now that he had someone in the same situation, he felt a little less depressed. After all, if he was defeated by the toad, then he would be laughed at by the world. But if many chief disciples were defeated by the toad, then it meant that this toad was unparalleled. It was understandable that they had failed. Lei Zhen was now looking forward to seeing Nine Heads Kailin and the Golden Crow, seventh prince, go in and be defeated by the toad. The first prince turned his head and looked at the thunder array, gritting his teeth. He wanted to cry, but had no tears. They were all in the same boat. Around him, in addition to the people of the New Moon clan, there were also people from the Sacred City. The powerhouses of the Golden Crow clan and the Demon City were also inquiring about the news. The first prince would rather die than say a single word. It was too embarrassing. After he went in, he saw Lin Wudi. He couldn't believe it. Then he made a move, but Lin Wudi didn't make a move at all. Instead, it was a toad that defeated him. How could he have the face to say it? It was a great shame to be defeated by a toad. Come back, there's no need to ask. So what if it's Lin Wudi? Nine Heads Kailin said in a deep voice. The Golden Crow Prince was incomparably powerful. 2 pieces of trash couldn't beat Lin Wudi. I'll kill him myself. Everyone was shocked. These 2 people were still so confident. It had to be said that they were too surprised. Among the chief disciples, these 2 people were also incomparably powerful. Was it really Lin Wudi inside? It seemed that a shocking battle was about to break out, but they couldn't see it at all. Everyone waited again, waiting for the Golden Palace to open. At this moment, inside the Golden Palace, Lin Xian was overjoyed. He now had a feeling of waiting for rabbits. It seemed that only one person could enter at a time, and the ones who came recently were all chief disciples. This was simply a fat sheep. Sure enough, Lei Zhen and the first prince came in one after another and were defeated. All the Dao flowers on the other party were snatched away. This was enough to condense a second heavenly Dao golden lotus. Sure enough, a second heavenly Dao golden lotus appeared beside Lin Xian. 2 golden lotuses danced around him. With a boom, a rumbling sound came from his body. Was he about to break through? Lin Xian was astonished. They had finally arrived. One had to know that with his divine body and dragon sword soul, it would be much more difficult for him to achieve a breakthrough compared to others. But during this period of time, he had condensed a golden lotus of the great Tao and eaten a 20,000-year fire lotus. Most recently, he had even eaten world-class dragon marrow. These top-notch treasures of heaven and earth finally erupted at this moment. This allowed Lin Xian's cultivation to make another breakthrough. From the middle 4th heavenly layer to the late 4th heavenly layer, Lin Xian sat down cross-legged with Little White guarding him. The toad was beside him, rolling its eyes. However, he didn't make a move in the end. It wasn't that Toad didn't want to, but he was scared stiff. At this moment, Lin Xian had a dragon shadow and a Qilin shadow running around him. There were even heavenly Tao golden lotuses around him. He was simply a god descending to the mortal world. Oh my god, even the ancient emperors were only SOSO. Just how many trump cards did this kid have? What made Toad even more shocked was that the other party had broken through, but he was only at the late 4th heavenly layer. Before breaking through, he was only at the middle 4th heavenly layer. Such a cultivation. Yet he had such terrifying strength. It was simply unimaginable. It seemed it was another golden age outside. Toad curled his lips. Although he had been sealed here for a long time, his origin was extraordinary and he had seen a lot. The two people he had beaten away before were all astonishing. They all had astonishing physiques, and now a monster like Lin Xian had appeared. If this wasn't a golden age, what was it? Could it be that this time a great emperor was really going to appear? Toad's gaze looked towards the depths of the golden palace. No one knew what it was thinking. Great. Lin Xian opened his eyes and felt the surging power. He couldn't help but want to look up to the sky and roar. Previously, he had consumed a lot of heaven and earth treasures, but the medicinal effects couldn't be completely absorbed. They were all dormant in his body. At this moment, when he broke through together, these medicinal effects erupted together. It was equivalent to letting his body undergo a sublimation and evolution. With his current strength, defeating Lei Zhen and the Crown Prince was simply a piece of cake. This was the powerful strength brought to him after breaking through. Pilgrim list? Lin Xian recalled the two experts he had killed before. He knew that there was a group of even more terrifying people on the chief disciple list who had entered. These people were currently fighting in the depths of the Destiny Star. Those people were on the pilgrim list. I wonder how big the gap is between me and those people now. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. Those people's subordinates had strength comparable to the chief disciple, not to mention themselves. As he was thinking, suddenly there was a roar in front of him. Lin Xian revealed a smile. Did someone come in again? Indeed, the Golden Palace had opened again. Someone walked in forcefully. This time it was nine-headed Qilin. He summoned the Void Beast, and the moment it opened, it directly used the power of space to teleport him in. After entering, nine-headed Qilin was extremely vigilant. Although he was extremely confident Lei Zhen and the First Prince had both been defeated here, which made him realize that the First Prince and the First Prince had been defeated here. There was definitely a huge monster inside. He walked alone in the spacious hall with his hands behind his back, his footsteps echoing like muffled thunder. Not long after, he stopped and saw a few figures in front of him. There were people. There were indeed people. Nine-headed Qilin was shocked. It seemed that they weren't the first to arrive. He had already guessed this, so although he was shocked, he was still able to control his emotions. He took a deep breath, and a cold light burst out from his eyes as he looked forward. "It's you. You must be Lin Wudi." He had never seen this person before, but he had seen his portrait countless times. How could he not recognize him? Lin Wudi crossed his arms and narrowed his eyes, sizing up the other party. This was a handsome young man, but he looked extremely demonic. "Oh, you know me. Since you're able to enter, you must be no weaker than Lei Zhen and the others. Tell me who you are. I don't kill nameless people. Listen carefully. I'm the chief disciple of the Demon City. Although you're powerful, you're no match for me. Kneel down obediently and give me your 2 great path golden lotuses, all your treasures and secrets. I'll leave your corpse intact, and you'll die in a dignified manner." Nine-headed Qilin's eyes were filled with killing intent. He found it unbelievable that Lin Wudi had 2 great path golden lotuses. It seemed that Lin Wudi was the one who had defeated Lei Zhen and the Crown Prince. Otherwise, Lin Wudi couldn't have formed so many great path golden lotuses. Moreover, what made him even more furious was that Lin Wudi had stolen a creation from him. Chapter 3891. Previously, he had condensed 1,200 Dao flowers in an attempt to break the record. However, when he was 1 meter away from the bronze door, Lin Xian completed it ahead of him. Nine-headed Qilin would never forget the feeling of being robbed of his fortune. He swore that he would kill Lin Xian with his own hands. Now that he had met Lin Xian, he felt that the heavens were helping him. "Young man, you're very confident." Lin Xian smiled. "It's good to be confident, but I'm curious about what you're relying on. Do you think you're stronger than Lei Zhen and the others?" "Lei Zhen is nothing. Of course, I'm stronger than him. Can his Thunder Qilin body compare to my bloodline?" Nine-headed Qilin was very confident. His body shone brightly, and an illusory figure appeared behind him. It was a very strange demon beast, the son of a Qilin and 9 heads. The 9 heads seemed to be able to tear apart everything in the world. Toad gasped when he saw it. "Damn, what's that?" He was stunned. Lin Xian said, "You're too confident. Do you really think that Lei Zhen and the Crown Prince were defeated by me? The 2 of them aren't qualified for me to fight. They were defeated by my little brother. Toad, you go." Lin Xian kicked Toad away. Nine-headed Qilin's expression changed. Lin Wuti didn't do it? Lin Wuti's little brother? In the next moment, he saw Toad fly out, and his face turned green. "Is the other party humiliating me? How dare you look down on me?" He roared, and the terrifying phantom let out a rumbling sound. The 9 heads exploded in an instant, and the power was earth-shattering. "I'm not fighting this battle." Toad retreated. "Kid, don't try to trick me. The previous one was already very strong, and this one is even more terrifying. It's a combination of a Qilin and a 9-headed sky snake. How can I fight a guy with 9 heads?" Toad rolled his eyes. "Kid, I advise you to leave quickly. This guy's vitality is very strong and he can't be killed." "Is that so?" "So what? I'll just kill him 9 times. Lin Xian stood out in a domineering manner. You? You want to kill me 9 times? I'm afraid you won't even be able to do it once." The 9-headed Qilin snorted coldly. This despicable fellow was too arrogant. He would definitely trample on him personally. "Do you think your bloodline is so strong that you can laugh at everyone? What a joke! Isn't it just a Qilin and a snake? What was there to be arrogant about? Half Qilin and half snake. How could it compare to a real dragon and Qilin?" Lin Xian snorted coldly as black Qilin tattoos appeared all over his body. It formed a black Qilin phantom that circled around him. At the same time, the great dragon sword soul in his body roared, and countless sword chi dragon shadows rushed out and floated under his feet. Wow, both of them were incredible existences. I have to stay as far away as possible. The Toad jumped into the distance to watch the battle. Whitey also landed at the side, hugging the spiritual wood peach. There was no need to worry. He patted the Toad. The Toad wanted to resist, but in the end it was knocked unconscious. "Damn, little guy, you're not allowed to use this kind of divine ability on me." Up ahead, 9-headed Qilin had originally been very confident. However, at this moment, his expression had turned extremely grave. "Black Qilin, there was also the dragon shadow. You actually have such a trump card." He was really too surprised. One had to know that he was extremely proud and thought that his bloodline was extremely strong because he had the Qilin bloodline. He also had the 9-headed sky snake bloodline. These 2 were incomparably terrifying bloodlines. Qilins were emperors, divine beasts. Although the 9-headed sky snake was not from the dragon clan, it was also a peerless, ferocious beast that did not belong to the dragon clan. With 9 lives, it was even stronger than the average dragon clan. In his opinion, how could Lin Wuti compare to him? But now he was completely stunned. The other party actually also had the Qilin phantom and the true dragon phantom. Could it be that the other party also had these 2 bloodlines? Impossible. He had never heard of anyone who could have the 2 supreme bloodlines of a Qilin and a dragon at the same time. The other party must be using a smokescreen. Perhaps he had obtained some broken divine ability of the Qilin clan and the Dragon clan. Kid, you're bluffing. Perhaps you've obtained bits and pieces of the divine abilities of these two great emperors. However, how can you compare to my supreme bloodline? Today, I'll let you know the difference between us. The nine-headed Qilin made his move. He slapped out a palm, and terrifying laws and bloodlines surrounded him, illuminating the sky. Terrifying demonic chi swept out in all directions. Incredible, this person is really too strong. The toad swallowed his saliva. He felt that this young man was very strong. Indeed, the nine-headed Qilin was confident. He did not even put the golden crow and Lei Zhen in his eyes. Naturally, he would not put Lin Xian in his eyes. However, Lin Xian was not afraid. He took a step forward, and the power in his body erupted as he punched out. A dragon shadow accompanied his fist, moving between heaven and earth. The power of the dragon fist was unparalleled. Boom! The two forces collided between heaven and earth. The nine-headed snake and the revered dragon were biting each other. A terrifying aura spread out and the void collapsed. It was as if the world was about to be destroyed. Fortunately, this was the Golden Palace, which was enough to suppress everything. Otherwise, half of the world would probably be destroyed. After that attack, Lin Xian withdrew his hand. The nine-headed Qilin was surprised that he was not injured. He was too shocked. He realized that Lin Xian's strength was beyond his imagination. The violent power in Lin Xian's fist and the terrifying aura of the Way of the Dragon shocked him. Soon his face darkened. On the other side, Lin Xian was also shocked. He had to admit that Lin Xian was really strong. It seemed that Lin Xian had surpassed the first prince and Lei Zhen. He was a difficult opponent. However, so what? He was not afraid of Lin Xian. The black Qilin shadow on his body roared like a Qilin, as if it was about to come to life. In Lin Xian's palm, a black Qilin appeared, and it quickly slapped out with his palm. Are you trying to compete with me using Qilin's superpower? You're asking for it. The nine-headed Qilin sneered. How could Lin Xian compete with him? He was someone who truly possessed the Qilin bloodline. A cold light burst out from his eyes, and two Qilin shadows streaked across the sky. They were like a vast ocean, striking the heavens. This time he was really too strong. He waved his fists, opening and closing them. Endless Qilin phantoms filled the world. He attacked Lin Xian crazily. Boom! 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 Another earth-shattering collision. The area in front was completely engulfed. The toad continued to retreat, shocked. This nine-headed Qilin was too strong. Even if Lin Xian was defeated, he could still be proud. Oh, he's fine. Suddenly the toad exclaimed. He realized that in the shattered void, two figures were as fast as lightning, constantly colliding with each other. This battle was earth-shattering. In the blink of an eye, they had exchanged hundreds of blows, and then they each stood on one side. Only the great Tao continued to spread. The laws were still shattering. Dragon shadows circled under Lin Xian's feet. Qilin roared, and golden lotuses of the great Tao circled around him. Lin Xian's aura was getting stronger. On the other side, the nine-headed Qilin stood with his hands behind his back. Behind him stood the combination of the nine-headed sky snake and Qilin. I didn't expect you to be able to block so many of my attacks. I'm really surprised. I admit that I've underestimated you. Now, I'll reevaluate your strength. However, that's all. You're still no match for me. Chapter 3892. Nine-headed Qilin looked down from above, his eyes filled with confidence. Previously, he had already seen through the other party. Now, it was time for him to unleash his true killer move. On the other side, Lin Xian nodded. That's right, the test was over. It was time for the real attack. He took a step forward and strode forward. Nine-headed Qilin snorted. What a joke! Was the other party just testing him? He did not believe that the other party was just putting on an act. Soon, he would make the other party despair. On his body, a terrifying light was circulating, and terrifying laws were spreading. 10,000 beasts' fist. Nine-headed Qilin attacked, and a terrifying light covered the sky. Terrifying demonic aura shook the 9 heavens. This was a peerless fist technique. With one punch, it was as if 10,000 beasts were galloping between heaven and earth. It was extremely terrifying. Its power was much stronger than before. On the other side, Lin Xian was roaring as well. Every move he made had an aura of supremacy. He was going to fight with force. Previously, he did not use his full strength at all. Now he was going to attack. He also threw out a punch, and the terrifying aura caused the sky to collapse and the earth to crack. On the other side, the 10,000 beasts all wailed. This punch was truly too terrifying. Lin Xian was already strong. With this breakthrough, his combat strength had increased by another level. Boom! Boom! The two of them clashed. The terrifying aura of the great Tao was spreading. When Toad saw it, he was shocked. These two people were incredible. He did not know who would win. That kid probably did not use his full strength. He looked at Lin Xian. Boom! Another earth-shattering sound was heard. Then, the phantom of the 10,000 beasts was completely destroyed. A golden fist swept in all directions. It charged towards Nine-headed Qilin. Nine-headed Qilin's expression changed. What was going on? His 10,000 beasts' fist was broken by the other party. Was this really unbelievable? Could it be that the other party did not use his full strength before? This was the other party's true strength. This person was indeed strong. No wonder he could defeat Lei Zhen and the first prince. But so what? He wasn't someone those two could compare to. 10,000 beasts' fist. Wang Hu. With a roar, 10,000 beasts gathered. Great Tao surged, forming a ferocious tiger that pounced murderously. The ferocious tiger was a killing move of the 10,000 beast fist. Go to hell. He believed that this attack would definitely be able to kill his opponent. Seriously injuring the other party was not a problem at all. The ferocious tiger turned into a peerless wild beast, pouncing towards Lin Xian. The void around Lin Xian was constantly shattered. His entire body tensed up as he felt a chill run down his spine. Lin Xian's aura erupted. Endless black laws filled his hand, forming a long blade of death that he grasped. The saber slashed down. Between heaven and earth, black torrents and terrifying storms swept through. Boom! Boom! The peerless, great, desolate, ferocious beast held in agony as it was split into two. The black saber light, once again, shot towards the 9 Qilins. How could this be? Nine-headed Qilin was truly shocked this time. Even the killing move of his fist technique couldn't do anything to the other party. What was that black saber in the other party's hand? Was it a top-notch saint artifact? Why did it feel so cold? 10,000 beast fist, black tortoise. He struck out with his fist technique again. This time, the endless laws on his body formed a huge tortoise shell that blocked the shocking attack. This was a defensive fist technique, and black tortoise was a defensive technique. He was confident that the other party would definitely not be able to break through his defense. As expected, when the black saber slashed down, there was a clanging sound. Then, countless cracks appeared and shattered on the ground. Humph! Nine-headed Qilin sneered. As expected, it was just as he had expected. However, his expression soon changed. The black saber light didn't completely disappear. Instead, it circled around him and even entered his body. He felt that his vitality had instantly decreased, and his qi and blood were about to dry up. The huge phantom behind him also became dim. Damn it, what's going on? Nine-headed Qilin's hair stood on end. At this moment, he finally screamed. This law could deprive him of his vitality. Damn it, he was too careless. If it was an ordinary law attack, he would be fine if he blocked it. However, this special law ignored his defense. Damn it. He was furious. The Qilin fire. The flames that belonged to the Qilin bloodline on his body jumped and began to burn the black aura. This bloodline flame was terrifying, and it burned away all the death aura. However, Lin Xian's expression didn't look good. Instead, it became gloomier. Previously, he knew that Lin Xian had a strong physique and had the 5 elemental laws. Lin Xian also had terrifying sword techniques, and he was confident that he could block all of them. However, he didn't expect Lin Xian to have such a death law. This was completely out of his expectations. In his carelessness, he was injured. You're only SO. You're stronger than Lei Zhan and the others, but not by much. You're still not my match. Lin Xian said coldly. Now that his strength had increased greatly, he wasn't afraid of anything. You're arrogant enough to compete with me, but you can't imagine my means. I'll make you despair next. 9-headed Qilin's expression was cold as he walked over again. Terrifying flames appeared on his body, leaping and dancing. This was the Qilin fire, and it was extremely bright. At this moment, he was like a fire god, and the aura on his body became incomparably violent. His palms formed a seal, and a fire Qilin flew out from 9-headed Qilin's palm. It had a monstrous aura, and it shook heaven and earth. In the distance, the toad who was watching the battle was also shocked. Damn, this is the flame of the Qilin bloodline. This guy's bloodline power is really shocking. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He wasn't afraid of any of 9-headed Qilin's flames. However, he didn't use the 9 Suns' divine fire. Instead, he mobilized it again, and the death law condensed into a black Qilin that ran between heaven and earth. The fire Qilin fought against the black Qilin. The 2 Qilin's superpowers clashed in heaven and earth. They kept killing each other. It was as if 2 divine beasts were fighting. It was really terrifying. 9-headed Qilin sneered. Some poisonous snake phantoms appeared in his embroidered robe, and they instantly disappeared into the void. This kind of small movement, under such a violent light, could not be discovered at all. The fire Qilin and the black Qilin fought until blood flowed like a river, and they disappeared at the same time. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes, and his lips curled into a cold smile. However, at this moment he was stunned, because he realized that a few snake phantoms had suddenly appeared beside him, and they coiled around him. On the other side, 9-headed Qilin laughed loudly. Kid, go to hell. This is the sky snake phantom. You can't stop it. There were a total of 3 snakes, and they coiled around each other, completely binding Lin Xian's body. Lin Xian snorted coldly, and his body shook. The terrifying power was earth-shattering. However, the 3 snakes didn't break. They were abnormally soft, and they changed as Lin Xian's power vibrated. In the end, they blocked the vibrations. 9-headed Qilin laughed again. Useless, kid, you can't break it. With that, he waved his hand, and the 3-headed sky snake attacked. One went for Lin Xian's throat, and the other went for Lin Xian's heart. This was a sure kill. It was vicious, and there was no hesitation. Chapter 3893. Boom! 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 9-headed Qilin sneered. Lin Fan was dead for sure. He would tear Lin Fan's body into pieces. Then he would let the sky snakes eat Lin Fan's body. However, he was soon stunned. There was a sound of metal clashing in front of him, followed by a thunderous explosion. How could this be? 9-headed Qilin's eyes widened. The sky snakes could not break Lin Fan's body. Is this your trump card? Lin Xian snorted. Do you really think you can restrain me? Break it. He roared, and his body shone with endless light. As his divine body opened and closed, endless flames burned. The 2 heavenly snakes could not withstand this attack, and they rolled around nonstop. Although they were like water and could withstand any kind of attack, there was still a limit to it. In front of absolute power, the two sky snakes could not withstand it and were torn into pieces. Lin Xian snorted and charged towards Nine-Headed Qilin. Nine-Headed Qilin's face changed. Lin Fan's body and power were beyond his imagination. He was shocked that Lin Fan could tear the sky snakes to pieces. But so what? His face was cold. Kid, do you think you have one? Now is the time for you to die. Go to hell. At this moment, only one of the three sky snakes was left. Once again, it bit towards Lin Xian. It could not withstand a single blow. Lin Xian snorted coldly as he revolved his body for 9 days. However, at this moment he was stunned. That was because he discovered that the heavenly snake was not attacking his body, but his soul. Kid, are you surprised? My sky snake can not only devour your body, but it can also devour your soul. You have a strong body, but what about your soul? Can you withstand it? Nine-Headed Qilin laughed proudly again. Lin Xian's soul had indeed been attacked, and he had sustained some injuries. His eyes shone with a sharp light. Soul attack? You are the one who does not know what is good for you. Lin Fan activated his heavenly secret divine eyes, and a golden light appeared. At the same time, terrifying flames swept across the sky, and Lin Xian covered the sky. He did it so that the other party wouldn't see what he was doing. After blocking the other party's line of sight, Lin Xian used his heavenly secret god eyes to attack the heavenly serpent. Sky Snake was being controlled. Very good. Lin Xian's lips curled into a cold smile. The other party had used a despicable method to sneak attack him. Now, he was going to give him a taste of his own medicine. The flames that filled the sky disappeared. Lin Xian stood there motionless. A heavenly snake coiled around his body, hissing. Success! The nine-headed unicorn smirked coldly. It seemed like the other party's soul had been devoured. Fighting with him? You're courting death. He strode forward, preparing to take Lin Xian's ring of holding and the secrets inside of him. When the toad saw this scene, it exclaimed, "Damn, is the battle over? Was that kid actually killed? Damn it, is the soul his weakness? No, I have to escape." The toad was about to escape, but Whitey slapped it twice. "Hey, don't run." The nine-headed unicorn had already arrived beside Lin Xian. He reached out a hand and covered Lin Xian's body. "What, Lin Moody? You're just You're too inexperienced to fight with me. From now on, you'll have nothing to do with this world." The nine-headed unicorn was very happy to have dealt with a powerful enemy. However, in the next moment, he screamed and covered his head as he retreated. "Damn it, how is this possible? How dare you hurt me?" He was shocked. The one who attacked him was none other than his heavenly serpent. What was going on? He was dumbfounded and couldn't believe it at all. At this moment, the eyes of the motionless Lin Xian shone with a piercing light. How was it? Did it feel good to be ambushed? "You're not dead," the nine-headed unicorn screamed. His handsome face was filled with shock. He was too shocked. Wasn't Lin Xian's soul devoured? Lin Xian looked at him as if he was an idiot. He sneered. "Do you really think that a mere heavenly serpent can kill me? What a joke. Damn it, how did it turn out like this?" The nine-headed unicorn was completely stunned. Not only was Lin Xian not dead, but he also controlled his heavenly serpent and even injured him. This method was too shocking. He felt cold all over. This kind of feeling was really too bad. Previously, he thought that he had everything under control and could see through Lin Xian. However, after exchanging blows, he realized that Lin Xian was like a bottomless pit. He couldn't see through him at all. He didn't even know if that was Lin Xian's final trump card. Boom! Suddenly, his pupils constricted. He saw a fist that was like a giant mountain coming towards him. Boom! He was sent flying. The huge force made him spit out a mouthful of blood. Damn it! He roared and his eyes shone with incomparable light. His body was filled with demonic aura. Terrifying laws surrounded him and blocked the fist. At the same time, he also attacked Lin Xian with a terrifying attack. The two of them exchanged blows again and fought fiercely. Everywhere they passed, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The toad originally wanted to escape, but it stopped and looked shocked. Lin Xian didn't die. Lin Xian was so powerful. Xiao Bai also heaved a sigh of relief. She knew it. How could Lin Xian lose? The two of them watched the battle again. The nine-headed unicorn roared crazily. Just a moment ago, he had received thousands of attacks. Those punches made his body numb. He fought back crazily and used the black tortoise fist. However, Lin Xian was not only powerful, but also had the death laws. He could only use the Qilin fire to defend himself. He didn't dare to be careless. At the same time, he activated the Heavenly Serpent bloodline to attack. Lin Xian was using the death laws. As a member of the Heavenly Serpent bloodline, he must have the poison laws too. Therefore, he used some poison to invade Lin Xian's body. Let's see who will die first. However, what shocked him was that after his poison dissolved into Lin Xian's body, it was silent. Lin Xian was not affected at all. How was that possible? Even a level 5 sage would die when the poison entered his body. However, nothing happened to Lin Xian. The nine-headed unicorn was completely stunned. He didn't know that Lin Xian had the great dragon sword soul in his body. It could destroy everything. The poison was nothing to be afraid of. As soon as it entered his body, it was smashed to pieces by the great dragon sword soul. Boom! Lin Xian punched the black tortoiseel. Immediately, cracks appeared on it. Then he used another 100,000 attacks to break through Lin Xian's defense. He kicked Lin Xian's chin. There was a loud bang. The nine-headed unicorn flew out like a kite with a broken string. His chin was completely broken and his flesh was mangled. Chapter 3894. Damn it, how did this happen? Nine-headed Qilin was stunned and the pain was driving him crazy. After Lin Xian's attack succeeded, he attacked aggressively and his terrifying power engulfed the 9 Qilins. Then a miserable cry was heard. Nine-headed Qilin fell to the ground. His body was in tatters and blood stained the ground. He was seriously injured. Toad's eyes bulged when he saw this scene. No way, this kid is too strong. Based on his previous analysis, the two of them should be evenly matched in a fierce battle. But now, Lin Xian was getting stronger and had seriously injured nine-headed Qilin. Nine-headed Qilin and nine-headed Sky, Snake's bloodline. How could he be so miserable? You're only SOO. You're stronger than Lei Zhen, but you're still no match for me. Lin Xian's mental state was cold and his eyes were filled with a biting cold radiance. He walked forward. Ah! He roared at the sky as if he had gone mad. His long and narrow eyes were bloodshot. He was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. He couldn't accept that he had lost. Everyone knew that he was a lofty figure and believed himself to be one of the strongest among the chief disciples. But now he had lost to his opponent. Lin Xian was just a newly promoted chief disciple, and his cultivation was far inferior to his. This kind of defeat made him feel ashamed and humiliated. Lin Wuti, I'm going to tear you to pieces. Nine-headed Qilin stood up and roared crazily. His bloodline circulated and his broken wounds quickly healed. Soon he was as good as new. Not only that, but the aura on his body had also become even more tyrannical. He was truly a super powerhouse. He was able to recover from such serious injuries in an instant. Lin Xian was expressionless and his eyes flickered. He knew that those injuries couldn't kill nine-headed Qilin. But so what? If he couldn't do it once, he would do it twice. He would definitely beat nine-headed Qilin up. What, do you want to fight? You think you can? Lin Xian's lips curled into a disdainful smile. Kneel down obediently and give me the Dao flower. I'll consider cutting off 8 of your heads and sparing your life. I'll make you regret it. Nine-headed Qilin roared and took out a fiery red treasure bottle. This was a treasure that had flown out of the Roland's golden palace. He had used his strength to snatch it. This was his trump card. At this moment, he was finally going to use it. The fiery red precious bottle was sparkling and translucent, carrying resplendent multicolored light as if it was forged from immortal gold. The laws on it circulated, shaking the world. If other level 5 sages saw this, they would probably tremble in fear. A high-grade saint artifact. A true high-grade saint artifact. It was much stronger than the one Leijin had used before. Moreover, there were no restrictions on its usage. It could be said that it was extremely terrifying. Kid, go to hell. The vase tilted down. Countless laws intertwined and flew out from the bottle. Each law was a sword chi. The nomological laws that filled the sky poured down in torrents. Endless sword light surged between heaven and earth. What do you have to fight me? No one under the minor saint realm would be able to withstand such a terrifying strike. The other party was definitely going to die. Buzz. Lin Xian's expression was cold as he circulated the energy in his body. He took out the Great Destruction Spear and circulated the death laws to the extreme. Black laws were attached to heaven and earth, especially on the Great Destruction Spear. It was extremely dark. It was like a murderous weapon from the devil world, carrying a monstrous killing intent. The long spear vibrated, destroying everything. The great dragon sword spirit in his body also surged. With a loud boom, heaven and earth cracked. The sword chi was instantly shattered. At this moment, the killing intent was soaring. Countless laws were shattered. Endless black death chi was sinking between heaven and earth. Nine-headed Qilin's expression changed. How could his opponent block such an attack? Damn it. Could it be that his opponent also has a high-grade artifact? Kill! He roared in anger. Thousands of laws formed an even more terrifying light sword and slashed towards Lin Xian. This time, the power of the attack was even stronger. Lin Xian, on the other hand, rushed over and opened his great gate. Endless black laws turned into chains and swept toward the nine-headed Qilin. Once again, an earth-shattering battle broke out between the two. Boom, boom, boom. The situation did not change just because nine-headed Qilin took out a high-grade artifact. He was defeated again. In fact, he was defeated even more miserably. His body had been destroyed by the other party. Nine-headed Qilin was completely mad. After he took out his trump card, he was defeated even faster. How could this be? He could not believe it. I'm going to kill you. He took out his second treasure. In the battle between so many top disciples and elites, nine-headed Qilin was able to snatch 2 treasures. This was enough to show how powerful he was. Humph! Lin Xian snorted coldly. You've already lost. I'll finish you off today. The power of the great dragon sword, spirit, flowed out completely and poured into his body. It even coiled around the great destruction spear. With one strike, black demonic chi pierced through heaven and earth. The power of this strike was much stronger than before. It caused the high-grade sacred artifact to tremble. Before the second treasure could appear, nine-headed Qilin was sent flying. He vomited blood again. His body that had just healed was shattered again. Lin Xian's attack succeeded, and he continued to attack. Endless laws of death condensed into a death demonic saber with the aura of the dragon soul. Inside, the death demonic blade was condensed, giving it a soul. Wherever the saber went, heaven and earth would split. Nine-headed Qilin's scalp went numb, and he kept dodging. The void shattered, and he was sent flying again. There were more laws of death on his body, which made him feel cold all over. His life was draining away quickly. He could not believe it. How could this be? How could he end up like this? Before entering, he had thought of countless possibilities, but he had never thought of such a possibility. Let's go. Nine-headed Qilin quickly flew away, trying to escape. Now he was no longer as arrogant as before. He wanted to escape. He turned into a stream of light and fled quickly. Lin Xian sneered. Don't you think it's too late to leave? The two of them, one in front and one behind, shuttled through the Roland's gold palace. Nine-headed Qilin had two powerful bloodlines, a strong physique and vigorous life force. Even so, he was beaten badly. He was extremely miserable. He desperately hoped that the Roland's palace would open so that he could escape. He did not know if his good luck had come or if his thoughts had moved the heavens. The Roland's palace opened again. This was a good chance. Nine-headed Qilin was so excited that he was about to cry. He turned into a bolt of lightning and instantly rushed toward the exit. Outside the Roland's palace, everyone waited patiently. This time, the Golden Crow Prince was extremely powerful. It was finally his turn. He had to go in. The others were also nervous. Nine-headed Qilin had stayed inside for so long. It seemed that he had succeeded. He might have killed the powerful existence inside. You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.